Chapter 42. Huang Xiang stared at Tang Zheng and asked, "Where did your martial arts come from?" This was a big problem that troubled Huang Xiang. He had observed Tang Zheng's matches but he could not even figure out Tang Zheng's moves, which made him disappointed. "That is none of your business." Huang Xiang's eyebrows twisted as he said, "If you don't want to cooperate then there is no need to talk." Tang Zheng's heart tightened as he made up a story. "Master did not say, so I do not know." "Then who is your master?" "He did not say." Huang Xiang coldly snorted in dissatisfaction. "I don't know anything." Tang Zheng's martial arts did not come out of thin air. Moreover, to have such martial arts in just a few months was truly a miracle, so Huang Xiang would not give up so easily. He continued to ask, "Then where can I find him?" "His home is everywhere, so I do not know where to find him." Huang Xiang was a bit disappointed but also relieved. Since the other side was not in the ordinary balance, then his matter would be much easier to handle. This time he must force out Tang Zheng's martial arts. "I am a very generous person, so I hope that we can take out our martial arts and then compare notes with each other to increase each other's cultivation. What do you think?" Huang Xiang said in a dignified manner. "Despicable." Tang Zheng secretly cursed as he saw through the other's sinister intentions. So Huang Xiang had his eyes on his martial arts. "I'm sorry, but martial arts cannot be passed on." Tang Zheng refused. Huang Xiang's face sank as he said, "Being so stingy is meaningless. I will also give my martial arts to you to study." "No need." Tang Zheng refused. "Tang Zheng, don't be so shameless." Tai Long murderously shouted. Huang Xiang looked at him with a smile that was not a smile. Tang Zheng coldly said, "You want to use my grandfather to coerce me into handing over my martial arts?" Huang Xiang chuckled and said, "Coercing sounds so unpleasant. We are exchanging pointers and this is a normal exchange between martial artists." "Brat, don't give him the ancient Clear Heaven Scroll." Tian Chanzi anxiously stopped him. "I know. I'm not that stupid." The ancient Clear Heaven Scroll was fought over by Tian Chanzi and Yin Mo, these two experts, with their lives on the line. How could they let Huang Xiang have it so easily? "If I hand over the cultivation technique, will you release my grandfather?" Tang Zheng asked. "Of course, I'm a man of my word." Huang Xiang solemnly vowed, but Tang Zheng discovered that his eyes were flickering. He was clearly lying. Huang Xiang was indeed lying. As long as he obtained the cultivation technique, he would not hesitate to kill Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng's strength had increased so quickly, he did not wish to leave behind a potential enemy for himself in the future. "All right, I'll give you the cultivation technique." Tang Zheng readily agreed, but silently said to Tian Chanzi, "Tian Chanzi, quickly give me a cultivation technique and trick Huang Xiang." Tang Zheng did not dare to act rashly because his grandfather was in the enemy's hands. He decided to use a fake cultivation technique to trick Huang Xiang. Tian Chanzi had many cultivation techniques, among which there was no lack of powerful ones. He immediately understood Tang Zheng's intentions and laughed evilly. "Don't worry, I'll prepare a cultivation technique for him. I guarantee that after he practices it he will benefit greatly, and feel like he's in heaven." Ah! Tang Zheng knew that the words "benefit greatly" were sarcastic. Tian Chanzi deliberately tampered with the cultivation technique's key points, causing Huang Xiang to have the opposite effect. "Right now I'm not Huang Xiang's opponent. I must first break through to the 3rd grade of qi refining and save my grandfather. Then I'll settle this debt with Huang Xiang." Tang Zheng had lived at the bottom of society for many years, so he understood that sometimes he had to endure. He also understood that a gentleman's revenge was not too late. If he knew that he was no match for Huang Xiang and still tried to be a hero, then he could only be tired of living. "All right, then write it down." Huang Xiang had already prepared a pen and paper and handed it to Tang Zheng, letting him write down the cultivation technique. Huang Xiang stared at it without blinking. He did not believe that Tang Zheng could trick him. After all, he had been practicing martial arts for more than 10 years, so his ability to discern between good and bad was not bad. Gradually Huang Xiang's eyes lit up, and his joy was overflowing. He exclaimed in his heart, "It really is unfathomable. With this cultivation technique, my strength will definitely increase greatly. The Huang clan will grow into a true martial arts family in my hands." The Huang clan could be considered a large clan in ordinary balanced city, but outside it was not good. Huang Xiang's ambition was not small. He had always wanted to revitalize the Huang clan and turn it into a true martial arts family. This cultivation technique is definitely real. Hey, this move is really useful. Using that old man to coerce him is more effective than directly using force to coerce him. Huang Xiang was immensely proud of himself. Tang Jing put down the pen and said, I have finished writing. Now you can release my grandfather. Huang Xiang immediately put away the cultivation technique. Tai Long stretched out his long neck wanting to take a look, but Huang Xiang did not give him the opportunity. Haha, you are very obedient but you are too stupid. Huang Xiang laughed. What do you mean? You no longer have any value. What do you mean? You want to kill me? Tang Zheng's gaze turned cold. The other side went back on his words, truly despicable. Huang Xiang gave an evil grin and signaled to Tai Long. Tai Long leapt out with a sound and fiercely attacked Huang Xiang. Huang Xiang, you are despicable and shameless. Hang despicable and shameless? In this world only the one who survives is the victor. So what if I am despicable and shameless? Huang Xiang was not ashamed and instead said proudly. Tang Jing did not have time to say anything because Tai Long's storm-like attacks had already arrived in front of him. Tang Jing quickly used the heaven-gathering hand to resist. Moreover, every move was aimed at Tai Long's dantian. Tai Long had eaten Tang Zheng's attack yesterday and his injuries had not healed yet. Seeing Tang Zheng's every move was aimed at his life gate, how could he not know that Tang Zheng already knew the secret of his life gate? He was really angry and anxious. He was in a difficult situation as he retreated again and again. Huang Xiang's eyes slightly narrowed. Yesterday when Tai Long was facing Tang Zheng, he was in an overwhelming victory, but today he was not a match for him. In addition to Tai Long's injuries, another important reason was that Tang Zheng's strength had increased. This could be seen from Tang Zheng's swift and fierce moves. In just one night he had such progress. This set of martial arts is simply too mysterious. After I practice it, I will definitely progress faster than him. Huang Xiang was itching to immediately practice this set of martial arts. Tang Zheng flew into a rage and used all of his skills to force Tai Long to retreat step by step. Seeing that he was in a corner and had no way to retreat, Tang Zheng attacked Tai Long's dantian. Kacha. With a crisp sound, Tai Long's dantian was shattered. Tai Long was like a dead fish as he softly fell down. His eyes almost popped out and blood gushed out from the corner of his mouth. You. Iron Dragon pointed a trembling finger at Tang Zheng, but was unable to say a single word. Tai Long's dantian was once again injured, but this time it was not as easy as the first time. This time his dantian was directly shattered, destroying all of his martial arts. For the rest of his life he would not be able to practice martial arts. Moreover, he would be plagued with illness, making him worse than an ordinary person. The smile on Huang Xiang's face froze. He did not expect that Tang Zheng would be so powerful after going all out. His own #1 general would fall like this. He was furious and loudly roared, "Kill him, kill him!" Wah! More than 10 big men rushed out from all directions, staring at Tang Zheng like a tiger eyeing its prey. Huang Xiang's hand had a gun, and the black muzzle was aimed at Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng's whole body tensed up. Although his martial arts were not bad, facing a gun, he was certainly not the opponent's opponent. Humph, you want to continue to fight? Huang Xiang's face once again showed a proud smile. Huang Xiang, let go of my grandfather. I will let you do whatever you want with me. Tang Zheng helplessly said. Ah, you are not my opponent. What qualifications do you have to negotiate with me? Since you want to see your grandfather so much, then you can go accompany him in the underworld. What did you do to my grandfather? Tang Zheng's eyes widened as his eyes gradually turned red. Of course I sent him to see King Yama. Huang Xiang, I will kill you. Tang Zheng's aura erupted like a tiger. With a sharp roar he pounced towards Huang Xiang. The gun rang out. Tang Zheng's body moved quickly, leaving behind an afterimage. The bullet brushed past his body as Huang Xiang pulled the trigger again. Tang Zheng's body stopped as his left leg was shot. But he had already arrived in front of Huang Xiang and grabbed his arm that was holding the gun. Huang Xiang felt his whole body go numb as his pressure points were sealed. Then his arm was twisted like a fried dough twist. Huang Xiang involuntarily cried out in pain. The big men rushed over, punching and kicking. Tang Zheng staggered back and fell to the ground. It hurts so much. Kill him, kill him. Huang Xiang involuntarily screamed, but he was unable to move. He was like a puppet, extremely comical. Seeing this, the big men had no choice but to continue to punch and kick Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng fell to the ground, continuously waving his arms to block most of the opponent's attacks. But with his leg injured, he had no way to escape. Moreover, he did not want to escape. Huang Xiang actually killed his grandfather, so he must avenge his grandfather. Kill. Tang Zheng roared as his palms slapped the floor, causing him to fly into the air, breaking free from the encirclement. His right foot tapped the ground as he once again charged towards Huang Xiang, sending a palm strike towards his head. This palm was heavy and powerful. If hit, Huang Xiang's head would be smashed like a watermelon. He was frightened and involuntarily screamed, "Ah no, I don't want to die. Hurry and save me." With a muffled sound, a big man blocked in front of Huang Xiang. The big man's shoulder immediately caved in, his shoulder bones shattered and he fell to the ground. The other big men also blocked Tang Jing one after another, making it difficult for him to get close to Huang Xiang. Huang Xiang regretted it to death. He originally thought that his preparations were complete, but who would have thought that Tang Jing would be so fierce when he went crazy? Tang Jing fought and retreated. It was difficult for him to get close to Huang Xiang. Among these big men, there were first-grade and second-grade refining body martial artists. With several of them working together, their strength could not be underestimated. Tang Jing was gradually unable to endure. "Little brat, hurry and run. Where there is life there is hope," Tian Chanzi advised. "No, I must avenge my grandfather. I must kill Huang Xiang." Tang Jing stubbornly retorted. Tian Chanzi was helpless. He was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. He was flustered and exasperated. "You are seeking your own death, do you know that? I am the master of my life. Seeking my own death is my own business." Stubborn, Tian Chanzi anxiously cursed. "I, Tian Chanzi, have moved unhindered in the cultivation world. Who would have thought that in the end I would fall to such a state?" Tang Jing ignored Tian Chanzi's anger and hatefully glared at Huang Xiang. He wanted to get close to Huang Xiang and kill him. This was the first time that Tang Jing wanted to kill someone. Chapter 43. After the pressure point technique failed, Huang Xiang regained his freedom. Looking at his twisted arm, his face became extremely gloomy as he roared, "Tang Jing, I will kill you." He picked up the pistol and pointed the black muzzle at Tang Jing. Tang Jing was surrounded by the large men and had nowhere to run. Just as Huang Xiang was about to pull the trigger, a shout suddenly came from the door. "Stop." So, a graceful figure rushed in and stood protectively in front of Tang Jing, looking at Huang Xiang without the slightest bit of fear. "Who are you?" Huang Xiang angrily glared. Huang Xiang put down the gun. Yi Dingdang scolded. He had followed Tang Jing the entire time and had spent a lot of effort to sneak into the villa. Seeing this hostile scene, he immediately stopped. Huang Xiang's eyes trembled as the other party actually recognized him. "Who are you?" "Yi Dingdang," Yi Dingdang said. She believed that the other party had definitely heard of her name. As expected, after Huang Xiang heard this, his expression slightly changed as he said, "What are you doing here? You are not allowed to harm Tang Jing. He is my friend," Yi Dingdang firmly said. Huang Xiang flew into a rage as he gasped for breath and said, "He wants to kill me, why can't I kill him?" I said no, allowed means not allowed. Yi Dingdang put her hands on her hips, giving off a bit of Feng Xinyang style. No. Huang Xiang refused, but his heart was pondering what relationship Tang Jing had with Yi Dingdang for her to protect him like this. But if he didn't kill Tang Jing, then he would be letting a tiger return to the mountain. There would be no end to the trouble in the future. But with Yi Dingdang blocking in front of Tang Jing, Huang Xiang didn't dare to rashly shoot. Others might not know Yi Dingdang's identity, but Huang Xiang was very clear. Ordinary Balance had two big families in the martial arts world. Other than the Huang family who had started their business in the underworld, there was the Ye family. The rise of the Ye family only took slightly more than 10 years, but it was unusually fierce, completely suppressing the local snake, the Huang family. Yi Tianlei and the Ye family were rivals. The Huang family had never fully grasped the background of the Ye family, but the superb martial arts of Yi Tianlei made the Huang family wary of attacking the rat for fear of breaking the vases. They simply did not dare to face him head-on. "Huang Xiang, I'm going to kill you." Tang Jing gnashed his teeth and said. "Did you see that? He wants to kill me. How can I let him go?" Huang Xiang said. Yi Dingdang turned to look at Tang Jing and asked, "Tang Jing, what's going on? Why do you want to kill him?" Tang Jing's eyes were bloodshot as he said, "He killed my grandfather. I want to avenge him." Yi Dingdang was startled when she heard this. She found it hard to believe and her anger also rose. Huang Xiang was worried that if he delayed things would change. Seeing Yi Dingdang turn her head, how could he let go of this great opportunity? He gave a look to his subordinates and then everyone attacked together. He directly walked in front of Tang Jing and raised his gun to shoot. "Careful." Tang Zheng had been paying attention to Huang Xiang's movements, and seeing him make a move, he gave a loud shout. Yi Dingdang did not even turn her head when she felt a wave of killing intent rush towards her, causing her entire body to tremble as she angrily shouted, "Huang Xiang, you dare!" Huang Xiang really dared. He did not dare to kill Yi Dingdang, but he dared to kill Tang Zheng. The muzzle of the gun spat out a spark as the bullet rapidly shot towards Tang Zheng. "Huang Xiang, I'm going to kill you!" Yi Dingdang angrily roared. Huang Xiang actually dared to not give her face and even used a sneak attack. He was too despicable and shameless. She moved her hand like lightning and punched Huang Xiang's chest. Bang! Huang Xiang flew out, but the corner of his mouth floated into a smile. He believed that Tang Zheng would definitely die under this shot. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept in from the entrance, causing sand and stones to fly everywhere. It was almost impossible to open one's eyes. Moreover, the crowd was also oppressed by a strong force that caused them to sway left and right. Huang Xiang could not help but blink his eyes. Then, the smile on the corner of his mouth disappeared and turned into a look of horror and suspicion. He involuntarily cried out, "Where's Tang Zheng?" Tang Zheng disappeared. The bullet shot into the chest of a burly man, blooming a bright flower of blood. Tang Zheng did not disappear. He saw the spark of the gun and felt the god of death rushing towards him. However, it was already too late for him to dodge. He thought that he would definitely die. But suddenly, a strong force came from behind and he flew out, dodging the bullet. "Feng Xinyang, you finally came. If you didn't come, your daughter would have died." Yi Dingdang was pleasantly surprised as she shouted, "Who dares to kill my daughter, I'll kill his entire family." Feng Xinyang's domineering voice rang out. Everyone followed the voice, and only then did they discover that there was an additional person in the hall. It was a charming young woman, and Tang Zheng was standing beside her. Huang Xiang stared at Feng Xinyang dumbfoundedly. He had heard of Feng Xinyang's fame more than once or twice, but this was the first time he saw her in person. He was so scared that he took 2 steps back. Feng Xinyang's pair of red phoenix eyes swept over everyone. Everyone was like a child who made a mistake. They all lowered their heads. Her eyes were too bright, just like a dazzling sun. It made people involuntarily feel a kind of fear, not daring to look her in the eyes. Tang Zheng's mood was not much better than the others. Although he guessed that Feng Xinyang was also a martial artist, he never thought that she would be so powerful. If it wasn't for her, he would have already died. "Tian Chanzi, what is Feng Xinyang's cultivation level?" "First grade natal stage." Tian Chanzi lightly said. "What, first grade natal stage? That's even more powerful than Yi Tianlei." "Nonsense. Then why didn't you tell me before?" "You didn't ask me. Moreover, it's only a first grade natal stage. It's not that powerful. What's there to say?" Tang Zheng was speechless. Luckily Feng Xinyang arrived in time. "Your little life can be considered saved." Tian Chanzi let out a sigh of relief. "Feng Xinyang, you finally came. Just now he wanted to kill me." Yi Dingdang pointed at Huang Xiang and said. Feng Xinyang directly walked towards Huang Xiang and said, "You wanted to kill my daughter?" Huang Xiang's complexion was ashen. Every time Feng Xinyang took a step forward, he would take a step back. Finally, he retreated to the corner with nowhere to retreat. He trembled as he said, "Misunderstanding, this is all a misunderstanding. I never wanted to kill your daughter." "Then why did you shoot at me?" Yi Dingdang angrily asked. "I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to kill Tang Zheng." "Kill Tang Zheng?" Feng Xinyang stopped in her tracks. Huang Xiang let out a sigh of relief. He made up his mind not to say that he was trying to kill Yi Dingdang. He had to point the spearhead at Tang Zheng. This way Feng Xinyang wouldn't be angry. "Right, I wanted to deal with Tang Zheng. I definitely didn't want to deal with Miss Yi." Huang Xiang added. "Why do you want to kill Tang Zheng?" Feng Xinyang coldly asked. "You wanted to kill me. Of course I want to kill him." "Nonsense. You killed my grandfather first. Of course I want to take revenge for my grandfather." Tang Zheng loudly roared. Feng Xinyang's eyes shrunk as she said, "You killed his grandfather?" Her imposing manner was oppressive. A wave of cold air rushed towards him, causing his heart to tremble. He was almost unable to open his mouth. "Do you know who Tang Zheng is to me?" Feng Xinyang asked again. "Oh." Huang Xiang asked while trembling with fear. "He is my son-in-law. You want to kill him? Do you want my daughter to be a widow for the rest of her life?" Feng Xinyang's voice wasn't loud, but in Huang Xiang's ears it was like a bolt from the blue, causing him to be dumbstruck like a wooden chicken. Yi Dingdang heard this and was greatly embarrassed. He faintly glared at Feng Xinyang but was directly ignored by her. So, you said you wanted to kill Tang Jing. How should I deal with you? Feng Xinyang asked. Huang Xiang swallowed his saliva. He really didn't expect things to turn out like this. Didn't Xiao Fei say that Tang Jing was a poor boy with no power or influence? How could he become the Ye family's son-in-law? Could it be that the Ye family also fancied his superb cultivation technique and didn't hesitate to marry their daughter to him? If that was the case, then wouldn't he have made a huge enemy? Seeing Feng Xinyang aggressively looking at him, he was scared and hurriedly said, "This is all a misunderstanding. It really is a misunderstanding. His grandfather isn't dead." Nonsense. Just now you clearly said that you killed my grandfather. Tang Jing angrily shouted. No, just now I was lying to you. I really didn't kill him. He is locked up in the basement. Tang Jing's eyebrows raised in joy as he said, Really? Quickly bring me there. Huang Xiang didn't dare to disobey Tang Jing's wishes. Now that his little life was in the other's hands, how could he dare to resist? In the basement, when Tang Jing saw his grandfather lying on the ground, he hurriedly rushed over. He really was alive, but his eyes were tightly closed as if he was unconscious. What did you do to my grandfather? He was just injected with a tranquilizer. He will wake up in a few hours. Huang Xiang explained. He didn't kill Tang Dahai at the beginning because he wanted to use him to force Tang Jing to submit. Killing him would have no effect. Later on, he deliberately said that he killed Tang Dahai in order to make Tang Jing panic. He didn't expect that he would drive the other crazy and turn one of his arms into a fried dough twist. Tang Jing, how do you want to deal with him? Feng Xinyang asked. Although his grandfather wasn't dead, all of this started because of Huang Xiang. Moreover, the other party wanted to kill him. This enmity was set. He walked step by step towards Huang Xiang. Huang Xiang was so scared that he hurriedly begged for mercy. Tang Jing, this is all a misunderstanding. Your grandfather is fine. Please let me go. Let you go? Then would you have let me go just now? Huang Xiang was speechless. From the beginning he didn't want to let Tang Jing go. Seeing Tang Jing's murderous look, Feng Xinyang knew that he really wanted to kill. This was the first time she saw this side of Tang Jing. Her heart slightly moved and she was very interested. However, she still persuaded, Tang Jing, since your grandfather is fine, then let him live. Huang Xiang was the only child of the Huang family. Killing him would cause a lot of unforeseen events. The Ye family wasn't afraid of the Huang family's revenge, but Tang Jing had to be careful. After all, he was alone and weak. Although the Ye family could protect him, the Huang family would definitely make a move on him. That would be disadvantageous to Tang Jing. Tang Jing took a deep breath and looked at Feng Xinyang. He already understood her good intentions. However, you can avoid death but you can't avoid punishment. Feng Xinyang said coldly. Huang Xiang's face was full of hope, but when he heard this, his face instantly turned pale. Tang Jing, how do you want to deal with him? Chapter 44. Tang Jing did not understand what was in the basement next door, but if it was something that could make Tian Chanzi so surprised, then it must be something extraordinary. Bring us to the basement next door. Tang Jing said without any doubt. Huang Xiang was stunned for a moment and said, What basement next door? My house only has one basement. Humph, since that is the case then I will immediately kill you. Tang Jing coldly said. Huang Xiang's heart was in a mess as he inwardly said, How did he know that there is a basement next door? That is where I hide my treasures. Most people do not know about it, so how did this brat know about it when it is his first time here? Huang Xiang was extremely unwilling, but in order to save his life, he had no choice but to bring them to another basement. The entrance to this basement was very well hidden behind a bookshelf. After activating the mechanism, a passageway appeared, and a gust of cold air rushed out. Even though it was March, it was still chilling. Feng Xinyang thoughtfully looked at Tang Jing, as she did not understand why the opposite party would come to this basement. Yi Dingdang also opened her eyes wide as she stared at Tang Jing as if he was an alien. Seeing his mysterious appearance, she was filled with curiosity. Huang Xiang's face was bitter as he led the way in front. The group arrived at a hall that looked like an exhibition hall. The hall was filled with a dazzling array of antiques, calligraphy and paintings, making people feel as if they were in a museum. Yi Dingdang looked around and was speechless. Huang Xiang, I did not expect you to have collected so many treasures. Huang Xiang's face was bitter as he did not say a word. Feng Xinyang did not bat an eyelid, but she was curious as to what Tang Jing would do next. Tang Jing followed Tian Chanzi's instructions and went straight to the center of the hall where there was an antique box. Huang Xiang was dumbstruck as he stared at Tang Jing, unable to understand why he would go to the box. Open it. Tang Jing pointed at the lock of the box and said. Huang Xiang hesitated and said, "These are all antiques, there is nothing to see." Open it. Tang Jing coldly shouted. When he walked into the box he also felt something strange. A cold feeling came from the box, but he didn't feel uncomfortable. On the contrary, he felt very comfortable. This feeling was very similar to the feeling when he absorbed purine energy. Huang Xiang had no choice but to open the box. Several people's gazes were immediately attracted to the box. A long blade with a cold light was lying in the box. Yi Dingdang shivered and cried out, "It's so cold." Feng Xinyang wrinkled her eyebrows and held her daughter's hand. Only then did Yi Dingdang feel a bit warmer. Huang Xiang's appearance was not much better than Yi Dingdang's. It was obvious that he was using his internal energy to resist the chill. This chill came from the long saber. "Kid, this is the Yin blade. There's hope for you to break through," Tian Chanzi shouted in surprise. Yin blade. Yes, in a place rich in Yin Qi, it absorbed enough purine energy and turned into a Yin blade. This kind of blade is not something an average person would dare to approach. Moreover, it often contains a baleful aura that can disturb a person's mind. This blade must have been unearthed from an ancient tomb. Tian Chanzi explained. Tang Jing was secretly excited. He originally thought that there was no hope for him to break through. He didn't expect to encounter a Yin blade. As long as he absorbed the purine energy, he could break through to the third-grade refining Qi and refine the life-continuing pill to save his grandfather. At this time he didn't mind letting Huang Xiang live. If it weren't for him he wouldn't have found the Yin blade. "I will take this saber with me," Tang Jing said. Huang Xiang opened his mouth wide. He spent a lot of money to get this saber from a group of grave robbers. It could cut iron like mud. It was indeed a good saber, but the baleful aura was too strong. He couldn't always wear it, so he put it in the basement. He didn't expect that Tang Jing would find it. "Not giving? Humph, I want to see if your life is more important or if this saber is more important," Tang Jing asked. Yi Dingdang echoed, "That's right, you are too stingy. Using this saber to exchange for your life, you have profited greatly." Huang Xiang's face was bitter. A treasured saber could only be found by chance. Especially for a martial artist, he was really reluctant to part with it. But under the eaves he had no choice but to lower his head. Moreover, he had already obtained Tang Jing's peerless technique, so a treasured saber was not that important. "Okay, you take it." Tang Jing immediately closed the box and hugged it to his chest. Feng Xinyang hesitated for a moment and said, "Tang Jing, if you need a weapon you can go to my house. My house has a few good weapons. This saber is not suitable for you." Feng Xinyang's fiery eyes could see that this saber was not simple. Bringing it back would not be a good thing. Tang Jing could not explain the reason to her and said, "I appreciate Aunt Feng's good intentions, but I only want this saber." Feng Xinyang was helpless and did not try to persuade him anymore. The few of them once again arrived at the hall. Tang Dehai was still unconscious. Tang Jing carried him on his back to Feng Xinyang's car and the few of them sped away. Huang Xiang's face gradually became gloomy. His twisted arms became more and more painful. Finally he screamed and said, "Quickly send me to the hospital. It hurts so much." Tang Jing sat in the car. His tense nerves gradually relaxed. The pain from the gunshot wound in his left leg became more and more intense. In the end he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Tang Jing, there is a lot of blood on your leg. You suffered a gunshot wound. I will take you to my house to treat the wound. Otherwise it will be too troublesome to go to the hospital," Feng Xinyang said. Tang Jing did not object. The bullet was still embedded in the wound. If it was not treated in time, the infection would be troublesome. Feng Xinyang drove while observing Tang Jing through the rearview mirror. Although he was injured, he was still calm. This was something that most people would not be able to do. The more she looked at him, the more she felt that Tang Jing was not ordinary. The more she looked at him, the more she liked him. On the contrary, Yi Dingdang was always shocked. She did not have the calm temperament of someone who was always calm in the face of danger. After arriving at the Ye family, after a small operation, the bullet in Tang Jing's leg was removed. Tang Jing looked at the bullet that was stained with blood and recalled the previous battle. Only then did he realize how thrilling it was. Squeak. The door was pushed open. Yi Dingdang's head poked through the crack in the door. A pair of big eyes looked around. "Come in. What are you doing hiding at the door?" Tang Jing said. Yi Dingdang walked in and said, "Who is hiding? This is my house. Do I need to hide?" Tang Jing did not argue with her. Today if she and Feng Xinyang did not arrive in time, then his life would be in danger. No matter what, he should thank the other party. Thus he sincerely said, "Yi Dingdang, thank you for saving me." Yi Dingdang beamed with joy. She thought that he still had a conscience. She impatiently said, "It's good that you know that I saved you. Tell me, how are you going to thank me now?" Tang Jing spread out his hands and said, "I am poor and can't give you money. How do you want to thank me?" "Dingdang, Tang Jing saved you once. This time you saved him. This is called helping each other. There is no need to thank me." Feng Xinyang and Yi Tianlei walked in. Feng Xinyang joked. Yi Dingdang immediately pouted in dissatisfaction. "I helped him wash his underwear. I have already repaid him for saving my life. This time he really owes me." However, she could not say this. She could only act coquettishly and said, "Feng Xinyang, whose mother are you? Why are you helping an outsider?" Feng Xinyang smiled sweetly and said, "Tang Jing is not an outsider. How am I helping an outsider?" Yi Dingdang knew that if she continued, Feng Xinyang would definitely matchmake her and Tang Jing. Thus, she tactfully shut her mouth. "Tang Jing, you don't have to worry about the matter between you and Huang Ziang. I will take care of you. He will not dare to find trouble with you again," Yi Tianlei said in high spirits. Tang Jing clearly felt that Yi Tianlei's temperament had changed. He said, "Uncle Yi, congratulations." Yi Tianlei laughed out loud. "Brat, your eyes are really too poisonous, you saw through it so quickly." Yi Dingdang was pleasantly surprised. "Dad, you have already reached first grade in 8th stage?" Yi Tianlei smiled and nodded, saying, "I just broke through today. When you called me, it was the crucial moment for me to break through. Thus, only your mother went to save you." "Wow, that's great." Yi Dingdang was so happy that she almost jumped up. Yi Tianlei looked at Tang Jing with shining eyes and said, "This is all thanks to little Tang. If you did not open up my meridians, I would not have been able to step into the innate stage in this lifetime." "Uncle Yi is too modest." "No, little Tang. You have done a great favor for my Ye family. If anyone dares to harm you, my Ye family will definitely not sit idly by. Huang Ziang has been jumping around happily recently. It is time to knock him down a bit," Yi Tianlei said. Tang Jing did not reject this kind intention. The Huang family's strength in the ordinary balance was extraordinary. If Yi Tianlei stepped in, it would save him a lot of trouble. "Uncle Yi, I will go home with my grandfather first," Tang Jing said. "Little Tang, there is something I do not know if I should say," Yi Tianlei said hesitantly. "Uncle Yi, if you have something to say, please say it." Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang looked at each other and sighed. "The doctor just checked on the old man and found that his condition is very poor. If you trust me, I will send the old man to a better hospital in Beijing for treatment. That way the chances of recovery will be greater." He said it very tactfully. In fact, the doctor told him that Tang Dehai did not have much time left and that the hope of recovery was very slim. When Yi Dingdang heard this, she quickly advised, "That's right. Go to Beijing or go abroad. That way your grandfather will recover faster." Tang Jing was moved but did not hesitate to decline. "I appreciate Uncle Ye's good intentions. My grandfather will be fine. I will have to trouble Uncle Yi to send me home." "You are not going to the hospital?" Yi Dingdang asked in astonishment. Tang Jing did not plan to go to the hospital. As long as he finished refining the life-continuing pill, his grandfather would be fine. If he went to the hospital, the doctors would be surprised and it would be troublesome. "I'm not going. Grandfather has always wanted to go home, so I will bring him home." Yi Tianlei thought that Tang Jing had given up and wanted to cherish the last moments he had with his grandfather. Thus, he did not continue to persuade him and sent a car to send them home. "Tianlei, regarding Huang Ziang's matter, you must take care of it. You must not leave any future troubles for Tang Jing," Feng Xinyang warned. Yi Tianlei nodded and said, "Of course I know. Huang Si does not know how to discipline his son. Help him discipline him. If he still dares to get angry, I don't mind teaching him a lesson. Huang Si has always opposed our Ye family. It is time to knock some sense into him." Once this matter is over, you can prepare to return to Beijing. Chapter 45. Huang Ziang's arm was in a cast and wrapped in bandages as he stood pitifully in front of a middle-aged man. This man was overbearing and his eyes were shining. In front of him, Huang Ziang was like a well-behaved kitten. The middle-aged man suddenly slammed his palm down, shattering a corner of the solid wood table. Preposterous! Does the Ye family really think that there's no one in my Huang family? They dare to bully my son. Dad, the Ye family doesn't even put you and my Huang family in their eyes. They actually want to kill me for an insignificant brat. They are simply going too far. Huang Xiang fanned the flames. This middle-aged man was the head of the Huang family, Huang Biao. His nickname was Huang Si, but no one dared to call him Huang Si anymore. Whether it was in the business world or in the underworld, they all respectfully called him Chief Huang or Master Huang. Master Huang, Yi Tianlei has barged in. Suddenly, one of his subordinates hurriedly rushed in and cried out involuntarily. Huang Biao suddenly stood up, his expression greatly changed as he said, I was just about to look for him, but he actually delivered himself to me. I haven't seen him in a long time. Before, I was only an 8th grade natal stage cultivator, but now I've successfully cultivated to 9th grade natal stage, the same realm as Yi Tianlei. I want to let him know my strength. Several of his subordinates flew in like kites with their strings cut. In the next second, Yi Tianlei appeared in the hall. Yi Tianlei, you've gone too far. Huang Biao took a step forward, glaring at Yi Tianlei as he spoke. Yi Tianlei jokingly said, I've gone too far? Why don't you ask your son what he did? Not only did he almost kill my daughter, but he also wanted to kill my little friend Tang Zheng. If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll think that my Ye family is easy to bully. Nonsense, it's clearly Feng Xinyang who is taking advantage of her position to bully others. Look at how badly she injured my son. What's the point of saying so much nonsense? Let's see who's the real deal. Yi Tianlei knew Huang Biao's nature too well. The stronger you were, the more he was afraid of you. The weaker you were, the more he would bully you. Yi Tianlei made his move. Immediately, a strong wind blew and the atmosphere in the room changed. Huang Xiang was sent flying and slammed into the wall. Huang Biao attacked like lightning, but when his fist arrived in front of Yi Tianlei, it was unable to move an inch further. Then a strong force hit him in the face, causing Huang Biao to fall back several steps, breaking a lot of furniture before he could stop. The hall was like a typhoon, the furniture was in a mess. Yi Tianlei had only used one move, a simple move, but the situation had suddenly changed. Huang Biao's self-confidence was instantly destroyed. Originally, he thought that since he had reached the 9th stage natal stage, his strength would be on par with Yi Tianlei. However, the strength that Yi Tianlei had displayed had completely suppressed him. Although the difference between Ho Tian and Xian Tian seemed to be only one level, in reality, it was as different as heaven and earth. You have already reached Xian Tian? Huang Biao asked in disbelief. Yi Tianlei coldly snorted and said, Don't think that just because you are a 9th stage natal stage that you can call the wind and summon the rain in ordinary balanced city. Keep a low profile so that you can live longer. As his voice fell, Yi Tianlei's right foot stomped on the ground. Kacha, the ground quickly cracked and finally became like a spider web. It was a ghastly sight. If this kick landed on a person's body, one could imagine how serious the consequences would be. The Xiantian stage was indeed extraordinary. Yi Tianlei left, leaving behind the Huang family's father and son in shock. Their hearts were in turmoil. Tang Zheng and his grandfather returned home. Not long after, Tang Dahai woke up and found himself at home. His expression was a bit confused as he said, Little Zheng, weren't I at the hospital? How did I get home? I remember that someone came to the hospital looking for me. Tang Zheng heard this and hurriedly interrupted him and said, Grandfather, didn't you want to go home? Let's just come back. Tang Dahai was diverted from the topic and was overjoyed. He hurriedly nodded and said, Right, going home is much more comfortable than going to the hospital. Moreover, it saves money. During this time in the hospital, you must have spent a lot of money. That money is for your university tuition. Grandfather, the hospital doesn't cost much. Moreover, you don't have to worry about the tuition. I can work during the summer so the tuition won't be a problem. Tang Zheng already had 200,000 in cash, so he did not have to worry about money for the time being. It is too tiring to work during the summer. Your main task is to study, so how can you waste time working? Grandfather, this is called social practice. Right now the school is promoting this. Moreover, with social practice, it will be easier to find a job in the future. Tang Zheng found a reason. Tang Dahai smiled happily and said, Our family's little Zheng has really grown up. You know so much more than your grandfather. Grandfather, you should rest at home for the next few days. I'll go cook. Tang Zheng said as he limped towards the kitchen. Little Zheng, what happened to your leg? Tang Dahai's face changed as he asked with concern. It's nothing. I accidentally fell while walking. It will be fine in 2 days. Tang Zheng's pain tolerance far exceeded that of ordinary people. In addition, he had true qi to heal himself. Even though he suffered a gunshot wound, he was still able to walk. Tang Zheng finished cooking dinner and ate with his grandfather. When his grandfather went to sleep, he took out an antique-looking box from under the bed. When he opened the box, a wave of cold air rushed out. "Little brat, after you finish absorbing the Yin Blade's pure Yin energy tonight, you will be able to reach the 3rd grade refining qi," Tian Chanzi said excitedly. "The stronger Tang Zheng's martial arts, the stronger Tian Chanzi's soul will be." Tang Zheng focused his mind and raised the Yin Blade with both hands. Using the ancient Clear Heaven scroll, the surging pure Yin energy from the blade entered Tang Zheng's palms. It then flowed through his meridians and finally gathered in his 9 main meridians. Tang Zheng sucked in a breath of cold air as if he had fallen into an ice cave. His body was instantly frozen. This amount of pure Yin energy was many times more than the amount he absorbed from Fang Shishi's body. If an ordinary person absorbed this much pure Yin energy, they would immediately die. However, Tang Zheng did not. His body's endurance far exceeded that of an ordinary person. A blazing hot energy rippled out from his 9 main meridians and immediately neutralized the pure Yin energy. Tang Zheng felt warm and the cold feeling was instantly dispelled. Tang Zheng understood that this was the 9 Yang Saint body's effect. He continued to absorb the Yin Blade's pure Yin energy. Not long after, the 9 Yang Saint body also neutralized the pure Yin energy. Just like this, the cycle repeated. As the sky turned white, Tang Zheng suddenly opened his eyes. It was as if there was a flash of light. His face rippled with joy as his gaze involuntarily fell on the Yin Blade. The radiance on the Yin Blade had completely disappeared and it had turned rusty. Tang Zheng's hand moved slightly. Kacha, the Yin Blade broke into pieces. This is an ancient blade. Because of the pure Yin energy support, it became a treasured blade that could cut through iron like mud. Now that the pure Yin energy has been completely absorbed by you, it is exposed to the air. Naturally, its radiance is no longer there. Tian Chanzi explained. Tang Zheng understood. In fact, this was the result of rapid oxidation. He got out of bed and stretched his body. He felt better than ever before. He really wanted to roar, "I have finally cultivated to the 3rd grade of qi refining." At this moment, each of his 9 main meridians had 3 inches of qi. It filled his meridians, giving him an inexhaustible amount of strength. The wound on my leg doesn't seem to hurt as much as yesterday. "Little brat, congratulations," Tian Chanzi said with gratification. "Tian Chanzi, thank you," Tang Zheng sincerely said. If he did not meet Tian Chanzi, his life would not have changed so much and his grandfather would not have left him. "Your grandfather still has 2 days to live. Today I will teach you alchemy. After 1 day you will be able to refine the life-continuing pill and your grandfather will be saved." Tang Zheng's confidence soared. Aside from being able to refine pills, a 3rd grade refining qi cultivator can also practice techniques. His path of cultivation can be considered to have truly begun. What awaits him is an even more magnificent world. "Little Zheng, get up and eat. You still have to go to school." Tang Dahai's voice came from outside the door. Tang Zheng hurriedly walked out and found that his grandfather had already gotten up and made breakfast. "Grandfather, why did you get up so early? You should have waited for me to get up." Tang Dahai kindly smiled and said, "I am old and sleep less, so I got up early to make breakfast for you. I don't know how much more breakfast I can make." Saying this, his eyes gradually dimmed. Tang Zheng felt a pain in his heart. His grandfather must know that he does not have much time left. Tang Zheng silently ate breakfast, holding back the tears that were about to fall. He silently told himself that his grandfather would not die and that he would continue to accompany him. Tang Dahai ate a little and then put down his chopsticks. He quietly looked at Tang Zheng and asked, "Is it delicious?" Tang Zheng nodded his head. "It's delicious. Grandfather's cooking is the best." Silly child. Grandfather's cooking is very shallow. What's so good about it?" "No, grandfather's cooking is delicious. It is the best food in the world," Tang Zheng solemnly said. Tang Dahai happily smiled. Looking at Tang Zheng, it was as if time went back 18 years. That day he went out to pick up garbage as usual. But when he arrived at the garbage dump, he saw a rolled-up quilt. He thought that it was someone else's broken quilt and naturally wanted to pick it up to see if it could be recycled. But when he opened the quilt, he found a baby inside. The baby was staring at him with big round eyes. The baby did not cry but instead smiled at him. That simple smile instantly captured his heart, giving him the urge to raise him up, but he did not immediately take Tang Zheng for himself. Instead, he carefully carried him home and specially went to buy milk powder and milk bottles to carefully feed him. Afterwards, he went around asking if there was a family that had lost a baby, but even after walking through the entire Chongqing city, he did not hear of any family that had lost a baby. He finally understood that the baby was an abandoned baby. He felt that it was a gift from God, so he decided to raise the baby. At that time he was almost 50 years old and decided to treat the baby as his own grandson. Although he had never married, with this baby, he felt that his life was complete. No matter how hard and tired he was in the future, he always had a smile on his face. Chapter 46. As Tang Zheng walked, he looked back at his grandfather who was standing at the door. His grandfather waved his hand from afar and sent him off with his eyes. Today, Tang Zheng's main task was to refine pills, but he had to make a trip to school first. Yesterday he suddenly left school, and later his homeroom teacher Lu Qingmei called him, and Fang Shishir also called to ask about his well-being. Today he had to go to school to ask for leave and then find a place to refine pills. Guess who I am? Suddenly, Tang Zheng's eyes were covered by a pair of hands and a gentle voice asked, "Hey, who is it? Let me guess, it's a great beauty." Tang Zheng's cultivation breakthrough made him in a good mood and deliberately said mischievously, "Humph, all you think about is a great beauty." Fang Shishir loosened her hands and looked at him coquettishly. "Of course, aren't you a great beauty? I think about you, is there anything wrong with that?" Looking at her sweet smile, Tang Zheng held her hand and felt that today's sun was particularly bright. A kind of happiness spontaneously arose. In the past he was worried about his grandfather's illness, but now that it was no longer a problem, his heart was completely relaxed. "You still have a conscience? Yesterday you left in such a hurry, where did you go?" Fang Shishir pursed her lips and asked with a smile. "Going to get grandfather discharged." "Grandfather's illness is better?" Fang Shishir asked in surprise. "And almost. That's great, tonight I'll go to your house to see grandfather." "Not tonight." Tang Zheng tactfully declined. "How about tomorrow? Grandfather needs to rest tonight." "Okay, tomorrow then. After school you go back and accompany grandfather, you don't need to accompany me." Tang Zheng's head warmed, she was really too considerate, completely without the arrogance of a rich family's daughter. "What's wrong with your leg?" Fang Shishir looked at him in surprise. "Yesterday I accidentally fell, it's not a big problem." "Is it serious? Let me see." "There's no need to look. I'm really fine. Besides, it's not good for so many people to look at me." Fang Shishir looked around and indeed found that many people were secretly looking at them. She glared at him and said, "I'll go to your house tomorrow night to take a look." Tang Zheng found Lu Qingmei and applied for leave. Lu Qingmei was considerate and approved his leave. Tang Zheng walked out of the school gate and coincidentally met Feng Xinyang, who was sending Yi Dingdang to school. Tang Zheng told the other party that he couldn't protect Yi Dingdang at school today. Feng Xinyang didn't force him and let him handle his own personal matters. She also told him that the Huang family's matter had been resolved. Tang Zheng expressed his gratitude. Without any worries he went straight to Ordinary Balance Mountain. Refining pills couldn't be done anywhere. Generally one would choose a place with dense spiritual energy. Moreover, no one could disturb them. The back of Ordinary Balance Mountain was the best place. At the back of Ordinary Balance Mountain, Tang Zheng sat on the edge of a cliff. He was meditating and thinking about the pill refining technique that Tian Chanzi had taught him. The refining process of the life-continuing pill wasn't too difficult. Tang Zheng carefully took out the heaven-fragrant flower and the other medicinal ingredients that he had purchased. Luckily, Tang Zheng had extra money, otherwise he would be at a loss on what to do with these medicinal ingredients. He placed the herbs into a small cauldron. This cauldron was not a rare item. He had bought it from an antique shop and spent 100,000 yuan. This time he had spent almost all of his martial arts and all of his savings from the Yi family to concoct the pills. After the preparations were done, he silently operated his secret arts. Immediately the spiritual energy between heaven and earth changed. The clouds outside the cliff began to roll. This was because of the spiritual energy fluctuations. Hoo-hoo, a trace of spiritual energy invisible to the naked eye fell from the sky and entered the furnace. A faint light gradually rose from the furnace. Tang Zheng continuously operated his secret arts to refine the medicinal energy of the herbs. After a while, the herbs gradually dried up. However, there was a water-like thing in the furnace. This was the effect of the medicinal energy combined with the spiritual energy. Finally, the dried herbs completely evaporated. Only this water-like thing was left in the furnace. You can put in the heaven fragrant flower now. Tian Chanzi instructed. Tang Jing took out the heaven fragrant flower from the wooden box and placed it in the furnace. Wah! The water seemed to be boiling. A strange fragrance assailed his nostrils, making him feel refreshed. The heaven fragrant flower had completely melted in the furnace. Tang Jing immediately closed the lid and continuously operated his secret arts to stimulate the medicinal properties of the heaven fragrant flower. Unknowingly, the sunset glow flew over the horizon. Tang Jing suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were brimming with surprise. Success! Tang Jing suppressed his joy and opened the lid of the furnace. A fragrant smell assailed his nostrils, making him feel as if he was floating in the air. Tang Jing opened his eyes wide. He saw 3 fingernail-sized pills quietly lying in the furnace. How can there be 3? Tang Jing was shocked. Tian Chanzi also could not hide his surprise. He said, "Boy, your secret arts are mellow and extraordinary. That's why there are 3 pills. With the same raw materials, the stronger the person, the more pills they can refine. A life-continuing pill can extend one's life by 10 years. Then if grandfather eats all 3 pills, wouldn't he be able to extend his life by 30 years? Humph, if you want your grandfather to die early, you can give them all to him." What do you mean? The life-continuing pill is a great tonic, and its medicinal properties are very tyrannical. Your grandfather's life is in danger, and all of his organs are failing. If he were to eat 2 life-continuing pills in a row, the tyrannical medicinal properties would directly take his life. Tang Jing suddenly understood. Going too far is as bad as falling short. This was the same principle as a person who has just recovered from a long illness. Then I can only keep the other 2 life-continuing pills? He took out the 3 sparkling and translucent life-continuing pills from the cauldron and placed them into a small porcelain bottle, keeping them close to his body. Kacha! Suddenly, cracks appeared on the surface of the pill furnace. The pill furnace instantly disintegrated, turning into pieces of debris. How can this be? This is an antique bought for 100,000 yuan. How can it be so useless? Humph, this is only an ordinary furnace. It can only withstand 1 refinement. If you want to refine better pills in the future, you will need a better furnace. Moreover, this furnace is only operated by secret arts. In the future you will use true fire to operate the furnace. The requirements for the furnace will be even higher. Tian Chanzi explained. True fire? That's right. There are many fires in the world. Other than the ordinary fires used for cooking, there are also level 1 to level 6 true fires. The more powerful the true fire is, the faster you can refine pills. Moreover, the pills refined will also be better. Now that you can cultivate spells, you can cultivate true fires. Tang Jing nodded his head. He temporarily threw this question to the back of his mind. He impatiently went down the mountain and rushed home. His grandfather sat at the door, leaning against the wall. He looked in the direction of Tang Jing's home. Suddenly, a familiar figure jumped into his eyes. He wanted to stand up but found that he did not have any strength. His life was quietly leaving his body. "Ai, King of Hell, are you going to take me now? Little Zheng, your grandfather will bless you in the underworld." His consciousness was gradually blurring. He understood that his time had come. "Grandfather, I'm back." Tang Jing ran in front of his grandfather. He found that his grandfather's eyes were closed. His face was pale and he was on the verge of death. "Hurry, give him the life-continuing pill. His life is almost at its end," Tian Chanzi urged. Tang Jing hurriedly took out the life-continuing pill and put it into his grandfather's mouth. The life-continuing pill melted in his mouth. It turned into a warm current that flowed into his grandfather's body. "Put him on the bed. After a night of rest he will be fine," Tian Chanzi said. Tang Jing carried his grandfather to the bed. Seeing his grandfather's pale face gradually turn red, he finally let out a sigh of relief. He really did succeed. Tang Jing refining the life-continuing pill consumed a lot of his mental energy. Now that he could relax, he unknowingly fell asleep. At midnight, Tang Jing felt 2 cold breaths come from outside the door. Then, in front of his grandfather appeared 2 blurry figures, one black and one white. He only heard the white figure loudly say, "Tang Dahai, your time has come to an end. Come with us to the ghost domain to report." Tang Dahai quietly lay there motionless. The black shadow exclaimed in surprise, "Oh no, someone actually extended his life. He gained another 10 years of lifespan, we can't take his soul away." Who has the guts to extend someone's life and disturb the cycle of reincarnation? The white figure angrily shouted. "Who are you? You are not allowed to harm my grandfather. Tang Jing suddenly jumped up and roared. The black and white figures saw Tang Jing and were shocked. Who are you? You are not allowed to harm my grandfather. Tang Jing directly rushed over and grabbed the black and white figures with both hands. Ignorant human, you dare to disobey a ghost servant. I will first take your soul to the ghost realm. One black and one white, two withered bone-like arms grabbed at Tang Jing, as a cold air rushed towards him. Tang Jing shivered but was not afraid. If anyone dared to harm his grandfather, he would stop them regardless of his own safety. Bang bang. Tang Jing pushed out both of his palms, and two blazing hot qi gushed out, dispersing the cold qi into nothingness. These two palms just so happened to hit the two bone-like palms, causing the black and white shadows to let out two screams, as if they had met their nemesis and continuously retreated. This kid is strange. The black figure screamed. Yes, the pure yang energy on his body is very heavy. The white figure echoed. Could it be that he has a pure yang body? It must be. A pure yang body is our nemesis. Let's go. The black and white figures screamed and disappeared without a trace. Tang Jing did not chase. He proudly looked at the direction of the other party and said, "You guys run fast." The sky gradually brightened. A rooster crowed. Tang Jing suddenly sat up and rubbed his eyes. He suspiciously said, "I had a strange dream last night. I seem to have dreamed of black and white figures. I drove them away and saved grandfather." "Yes, how is grandfather?" He looked over and saw that the bed was empty. He shouted, "Grandfather, where is grandfather? How come he's gone?" "Little Zheng, what's wrong? Did you have a nightmare?" Tang Dehai pushed the door and asked with concern. Tang Jing rushed over and tightly hugged his grandfather. He cheered, "Grandfather, you're fine. You're really fine." Tang Dehai laughed heartily, patted his back and said, "Why are you acting like a child? Aren't I perfectly fine? It's strange. I don't know what happened. After I woke up, I felt that my whole body was much stronger and full of spirit." Tang Jing carefully looked at his grandfather and found that his complexion was rosy. Even the wrinkles had disappeared. It was as if he had suddenly become 10 years younger. His entire temperament had undergone an earth-shattering change. Especially his pair of eyes were no longer turbid and had become very spirited. Chapter 47. Tang Jing sat in the classroom attentively listening to the lecture. His mouth would occasionally reveal a faint smile, as if he was dreaming of a beautiful dream, causing Yi Dingdang to raise her eyebrows. She could not help but ask, "Hey, what are you foolishly smiling about? Are you daydreaming?" "Nothing." The matter of his grandfather's recovery was a secret. Of course he couldn't tell anyone. If you don't want to say, then forget it." Yi Dingdang found that he was becoming more and more mysterious. "Oh right, why did you provoke Huang Xiang that day?" This was a question that had always troubled Yi Dingdang. Who knows? Huang Xiang is used to bullying people. How could there be a reason? Tang Jing said perfunctorily. Nonsense. Although Huang Xiang is not a good person, there must be a reason. Then you go ask him. I actually also want to know the reason. Tang Jing didn't want to make his boxing practice public. Yi Dingdang didn't get any useful information from him and curled her lips in dissatisfaction. In fact, this was also a question that troubled her parents. But they were considerate and wouldn't easily pry into other people's secrets. Ding-ling-ling. When the bell rang for the end of class, Lu Qingmei put down her chalk, looked around and said, "Tomorrow is March's monthly test. This time, everyone must do their best and truly test your strength. Afterwards, you can find out what you missed and make up for it. Do you all have confidence in yourselves?" Yes. Everyone was full of confidence. During this period of time, the learning atmosphere of Class 7 had indeed undergone an earth-shattering change. Lu Qingmei saw it all and nodded her head in satisfaction, saying, "It's good that you have confidence, I also believe in you." Lu Qingmei's eyes swept around and fell on the last two people who were whispering. She frowned imperceptibly. During this period of time, Tang Jing often asked for leave and wasn't very serious in class. Although there was a reason for this, but the college entrance exam was related to his life. He couldn't be careless. "Tang Jing, come with me to the office." The others all looked at Tang Jing. Tang Jing's limelight had gradually passed, and the attention on him had decreased by a lot. Everyone found that he was a bit unique, and other than that they couldn't see any advantages or disadvantages. Takashi secretly glanced at Tang Jing. His eyes flashed with resentment and thought, didn't Xiao Fei say that he had a way to deal with him? How come nothing happened to him after so many days? F*ck, I'll immediately go find Xiao Fei and ask him clearly. Xiao Fei was pulled by Tang Jing to a small forest next to the field. Xiao Fei, why is Tang Jing safe and sound and what you do? Xiao Fei's face was gloomy. Speaking of this matter, he had a stomach full of anger. Yesterday when he went to ask Huang Xiang about the results, Huang Xiang's temper was very big. He even scolded him a few times. But Xiao Fei didn't dare to talk back. He knew that his family wasn't the Huang family's opponent. If he wanted to deal with Tang Jing, he would need Huang Xiang's help. Finally, Huang Xiang asked about Tang Jing's school life in detail. When he heard that Tang Jing had a girlfriend, and that she was Xiao Fei's crush, Huang Xiang immediately urged Xiao Fei to find a chance to get Fang Shishir. As a man, if he dares to think, then he dares to do it. This sentence touched Xiao Fei's heart. Xiao Fei had been coveting Fang Shishir for a long time. Seeing that she was about to become Tang Jing's possession, his eyes were already red with jealousy. But he was still hesitating whether or not to do it. After all, Fang Shishir's identity was not ordinary. My actions, Heng, you can't just rely on me. You also have to take action. Xiao Fei unhappily said. Takashi angrily shouted, what do you mean? It's not like you don't know how powerful Tang Jing is. If I had a way, why would I need to find you? Heng, I think if you don't take action, Fang Shishir will really be eaten by him. What did you say? Xiao Fei grabbed Takashi's collar with a fierce look on his face. Takashi was tall and strong, so he shook him off and said, what I said was the truth. Everyone knows that they are a couple. Look at how intimate they are. I think that in a few days that little brat will get Fang Shishir into his bed. Xiao Fei gasped for breath. This was the thing he did not want to see the most. But he had to admit that Takashi's words were not false. This kind of situation really could happen. No, I definitely cannot let Fang Shishir into his bed. Fang Shishir is my person. No one can touch her. Xiao Fei's possessiveness was very strong. He had already considered Fang Shishir to be his person. I must have her. His gaze gradually became resolute. In the office, Tang Jing and Lu Qingmei sat facing each other. Lu Qingmei earnestly said, Tang Jing, do you have confidence in this month's mock exam? I will do my best. Tang Jing lightly said. He had already decided to hide his true strength so this month's mock exam would not be as normal. Lu Qingmei wrinkled her eyebrows and said, Tang Jing, you cannot be discouraged. Your family is not well off. You should study harder and be more serious in class. Only then will you be worthy of your grandfather. What do you say? Tang Jing could clearly feel her genuine concern, but he could not reveal his own plans. He could only nod his head and say, I understand, Teacher Lu. Lu Qingmei secretly sighed. Tang Jing clearly did not listen to her words, but she was also helpless. She said in her heart that she must find a way to make him pull himself together. The old witch Wu Zuehong was not far away, secretly sizing up Tang Jing. Last time she was contradicted by Lu Qingmei and Tang Jing. This time she learned her lesson and did not dare to use her age to speak nonsense. Otherwise the one who would lose face would be her. Tang Jing, after this month's mock exam, you will suffer. Wu Zuehong already had a detailed plan. When the time comes, she will definitely be able to force him to drop out of school. Tang Jing left the office and his cell phone rang. Little brother, did young Master Huang find trouble with you? Lin Hu anxiously asked. These past few days he had been thinking of ways to resolve the conflict between Tang Jing and Huang Xiang. However, Huang Xiang avoided him. Moreover, he had just received news that Huang Xiang was injured. As for what exactly happened, outsiders did not know. Brother Hu, the matter between him and me has temporarily come to an end. You do not need to worry. Did something happen? Do you need my help? No need. Lin Hu hung up the phone and sank into deep suspicion. Huang Xiang still had not made a move. This was not his style. Just what happened? Moreover, how could Huang Xiang be injured? He was a 6th grade refining body martial artist. Who could injure him? Could it be Tang Jing? He was shocked by his own conjecture and his heart beat wildly. He really couldn't figure out what was going on. Tang Jing had just walked to the entrance of Class 1 when a fragrant wind blew over. Fang Shishir was already standing in front of him. How's your leg? It's much better. Tang Jing made a few movements. After reaching the 3rd grade refining body, the healing speed of his wounds increased by a lot. Fang Shishir was slightly relieved. She stared at him blankly and firmly said, Tomorrow is the monthly exam. You will definitely take first place again. Sure, this time I will not take first place. I will still maintain my previous results. What, why? Your illness has clearly been cured. You can take first place again and shut everyone else's mouth. Let them know that you are still the genius Tang Jing. Fang Shishir anxiously said. Listen to me. In any case, I have already taken last place many times. It doesn't matter if I take the exam again. Moreover, the first place is yours and not someone else's. It can be considered as keeping the goodies within the family. Tang Jing casually said. Fang Shishir shook her head like a rattle drum and said, No, you are already better than me. The first place is well deserved. I am willing to be second. Silly girl. Tang Jing stroked her hair and said, You're first and I'm the last. Our family has 2 first places. What do you mean our family? That's so embarrassing. Fang Shishir was incomparably bashful, but her heart felt sweet. Moreover, the first place and the last place are together. This will definitely make other people's eyeballs fall out. Tang Jing mischievously said. You are so bad. You could have been first but you insisted on being last. Okay, I'll tell you. If I were to take first place, the school would definitely let me return to class 1. At that time, I would have to face the old witch. You also know that my relationship with her is like fire and water. It would not be good. Tang Jing explained. Fang Shishir pouted. She faintly sighed and said, I also want to go to your class 7. Haha, that old witch would be angered to death. Moreover, the school would not agree. You want to anger her. Who told her to treat you badly? Fang Shishir said. Ding-ling-ling. The school bell rang again. The 2 reluctantly returned to their respective classrooms. After school, everyone dispersed. Tang Jing and Fang Shishir walked out of the school. Yi Dingdang also happened to sit in Feng Xinyang's car. When Feng Xinyang saw this scene, she bitterly said, Yi Dingdang, are you stupid? You actually let that little girl from the Fang family snatch away the little handsome brother. Feng Xinyang, what nonsense are you talking about? There is really nothing between me and him. The one I like is a big hero. He is not a big hero. Yi Dingdang said in a bad mood. But when she saw Tang Jing and Fang Shishir's intimate appearance, while Tang Jing was much colder towards her, she felt a bit indignant. I saved him, but he was neither cold nor warm towards me. What a bad person. Damn girl, with which eye did you see that he is not a big hero? His current cultivation is already so high. His future achievements are limitless. If you don't listen to your elders, you will regret it in the future. You don't need to care about my matters. Hurry up and drive. Tang Jing and Fang Shishir got on the bus and headed home. Fang Shishir snuggled up to him, feeling incomparably sweet. Shishir, my house is very simple. Don't dislike it. Tang Jing said. Why would I dislike it? That is your home. Moreover, as long as your family is together, even a simple place is warm. It is also a home. After getting off the bus, the 2 walked hand in hand towards the small house. Fang Shishir's expression did not change at all. It was as if in her eyes, this simple house was no different from her family's mansion. His grandfather was not home. Tang Jing guessed that his grandfather must have gone to the garbage dump. After his body recovered, he could not stay idle. Creak. The door opened. Although the house was small, it was tidy and orderly. Did you tidy up all of this? Of course. You are really diligent. Not bad, I will praise you. Fang Shishir looked around and asked, Where is grandfather? He might have gone out. I will cook first. No rush. She grabbed him and her gaze fell on his leg. Yesterday I said that I wanted to take a look at the injury on your leg today. I want to see it now. My injury is really fine now. Now I must take a look. Fang Shishir insisted. Her big eyes were filled with determination. It is on my thigh. It is inconvenient. Fang Shishir hesitated for a moment. Her face was red as she said, What is inconvenient about it? Roll up your pants. Tang Jing had no choice but to sit down and roll up his pants to his thigh. Fang Shishir's gaze was immediately attracted. Chapter 48. Tang Jing's thigh was wrapped in gauze and there was a faint trace of blood. Fang Shishir bitterly stared at him and said, Didn't you say that it was just a fall and it was not serious? Why is there gauze and blood? Tang Jing did not dare to say that it was a gunshot wound, otherwise she would be worried to death. He could only pretend to be relaxed and said, I knocked against a rock and got a cut. It's just a little bit of blood. If I don't look, you will keep hiding it from me? Fang Shishir's eyes suddenly turned red. Her small hand gently touched the gauze and her heart palpitated as she asked, Does it still hurt? It doesn't hurt anymore. The doctor said that it will be fine after 1 or 2 days of rest. That's good. Fang Shishir patted her chest, her face was pink. If there is anything in the future you are not allowed to hide it from me anymore, okay? With that said, her slender jade finger brushed past Tang Zheng's thigh. Tang Zheng felt as if he had been electrocuted. His whole body trembled. Her fingers seemed to have a magical power that evoked his inner thoughts. Shishir. Tang Zheng grabbed her hand. Fang Shishir's body tensed up. She shyly lowered her head and let out an intimate sound. A man and a woman in a room. Tang Zheng's breathing involuntarily quickened. Taking advantage of the situation, Fang Shishir sat in his arms. Scoundrel, what are you doing? Fang Shishir coquettishly said. You see that I am injured. Shouldn't you comfort me? Patients need comfort the most. Who said that I want to comfort a scoundrel like you? Fang Shishir shyly lowered her head. Ai, then if you don't comfort me, I will go find someone else. You dare. Fang Shishir immediately raised her head. Her eyes widened as she stared at him. You are mine. If you dare to find someone else, hang I. She wanted to say that she would castrate him but felt that it was too hooligan, so she changed her words and said, I will not let you off. With such a good girlfriend like you, why would I look for someone else? Tang Jing laughed heartily. That's more like it. Seeing that you're so obedient, I'll comfort you. Fang Shishir raised her head as she spoke and the two kissed. The two of them had already had intimate contact for the first time, so this time they were familiar with it. Not long after, their breathing became more rapid as they hugged each other tightly. Tang Jing's hand restlessly moved towards her chest, groping through her clothes. Fang Shishir moaned. She was shy and anxious. That was a place where she had never been touched by anyone before. Although she was shy, she was faintly happy and expectant. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps came from outside the room. Tang Jing woke up abruptly and let go of Fang Shishir. Fang Shishir stood up and quickly tidied up her clothes. Her face was as red as a ripe apple. She glared at him as if she wanted to say something. Little Zheng, you're back? Tang Dahai walked in. When he saw Fang Shishir, he couldn't help but stare blankly for a moment. He quickly recognized her and said, Classmate, you're here. Quickly sit. Little Zheng, a guest is here but you don't know how to greet her. How can you let a guest stand? Quickly go and pour some water. Fang Shishir said with a red face, Grandfather, you're welcome. I heard that you were discharged, so I came to see you. Your complexion is much better. That's right. I already said that I wanted to go home. Even if I wasn't sick in the hospital, I would still get sick. Although Tang Dahai was puzzled as to how he got better in one night, he didn't think too deeply about it. As long as he could stay with his grandson for a bit longer, it would be a gift from the heavens. Seeing that grandfather is better, I'm relieved. Tang Jing, then I'll go home first. Fang Shishir's good deed was interrupted, and her heart was like a little deer running around. She was too embarrassed to continue staying. Why don't you eat before you leave? Tang Jing walked out with water and urged her to stay. No, my family has finished cooking and is waiting for me. Grandfather, I'll come see you next time. Okay then, come play often. Little Jing, you go send your classmate off. The two walked along the small path to the main road. Fang Shishir kept her head down, too embarrassed to look at Tang Jing. Why do you keep looking at the ground? Could it be that there's money to be picked up? Tang Jing teased. Fang Shishir raised her head and glared at him, saying, Just now it was all your fault. I don't know if grandfather saw it. Tang Jing laughed loudly. It's not a big deal even if it was seen. So embarrassing. If you dare to be naughty in the future, see how I punish you. How are you going to punish me? I haven't thought about it yet. In any case, you're not allowed to be naughty in the future. Okay, I'm going home. You should also go back and eat. Fang Shishir stopped a taxi, and Tang Jing watched as the taxi disappeared into the traffic before turning around. Little Jing, sit down. I have something to say to you. Tang Dahai sat on a chair and said seriously, Grandfather, what's the matter? That classmate just now was your girlfriend, right? Tang Jing was dumbstruck. His grandfather's fiery eyes actually saw through him. That girl is a good girl and knows manners. Her family situation shouldn't be bad. Since his grandfather saw through it, then there was no need to hide it. Thus he truthfully said, yes, her family does business. Tang Dahai's face darkened and he let out a long sigh and said, Little Zheng, I also know our family's situation. Would this kind of family take a liking to our family? Tang Jing was speechless. Fang Shishir's mother had already expressed her opposition, and her father's attitude was probably the same. This is reality. Even though you are very outstanding and will definitely have your own career in the future, but in the eyes of these rich people, you are still too weak. How much will you suffer in the future? Seeing Tang Jing not say a word, Tang Dehai said with heartache, "It's all grandfather's fault for not being able to give you a good environment." Tang Jing hurriedly stopped him and said, "Grandfather, don't say any more. My and Shirshir's matter, we will deal with it ourselves. Her family's attitude cannot affect us. Moreover, I believe that I will definitely be able to make a career for myself." For the first time, Tang Jing had a strong desire to stand out. In the past, he was only a simple youth who wholeheartedly studied. Now he understood that if he wanted to live a better life in this world, he needed more things and he needed to work harder. Seeing Tang Jing insist, Tang Dehai did not try to persuade him. He understood his grandson very well and nodded, "Then I won't try to persuade you anymore. But right now your most important task is to study. Everything can wait until you enter university. Moreover, if you have decided on a girl, then you must treat her well. Do you understand? Our Tang family must have a grateful heart. We cannot fail to live up to other people's good intentions." "I understand, grandfather." Tang Jing nodded heavily. Late at night. This was the moment that Tang Jing had been waiting for. He could finally practice magic. Magic is divided into many types. It can mainly be divided into two categories: defense and offense. They complement each other and have infinite power. Tian Chanzi explained, "Today I will first teach you an offensive magic. This is a set of swordsmanship, but it is completely different from ordinary swordsmanship. When used with a flying sword, it can take a person's head from 1,000 miles away. But I see that in today's society flying swords are hard to find, so it can only be used for close combat. This set of swordsmanship is called Heaven Flying Immortal." Heaven Flying Immortal? Is it the one that is shown on TV? Nonsense. Tian Chanzi reprimanded, "This is my sect's profound swordsmanship. It is a real magic. How can it be confused with someone's nonsense?" Tang Jing hurriedly shut his mouth. Tian Chanzi seemed to have a lot of respect for his sect, but he was also secretive and did not speak of it in detail. But since he said that Heaven Flying Immortal was so powerful, then it must not be bad. This is the Heaven Flying Immortal swordsmanship and mnemonic chant. Memorize it carefully. As soon as he finished speaking, Tang Jing's mind had an additional set of swordsmanship and mnemonic chant. This set of swordsmanship had a total of 6 moves, and each move had 36 variations. Its power was infinite. Tang Jing only looked at it for a while and discovered the subtleties of the swordsmanship. It made him feel enlightened. This was not something that the Heaven Gathering Hand could compare to. First, familiarize yourself with the swordsmanship and comprehend its profound meaning. If there is anything you don't understand, I will explain it to you one by one. Tang Jing immediately began to comprehend the swordsmanship. In a short while, he had clearly memorized the swordsmanship. Now, his memory was astonishing, almost reaching the realm of photographic memory. Moreover, his comprehension ability was also extraordinary. While he was comprehending the subtleties of the swordsmanship, he also consulted Tian Chanzi about the things he did not understand. Tian Chanzi answered him one by one. Tian Chanzi's voice was very calm, but in fact it was not calm at all. He did not expect Tang Jing's comprehension of the swordsmanship to be so amazing. He remembered that when the sect's genius first faced the swordsmanship, his comprehension was also not as good. "I really picked up a treasure. The swordsmanship has been explained to you. Next, you will practice the swordsmanship according to the swordsmanship." Tang Jing did not practice like he practiced martial arts. Instead, he closed his eyes. With a thought, an image appeared in his mind. It was a miniature version of Tang Jing. He was practicing the swordsmanship according to the swordsmanship. Although there was no sword in his hand, every move was exactly the same as the swordsmanship. Fuke Tang Jing suddenly opened his eyes and took a deep breath. He found that the true qi in his meridians had been greatly consumed. His body felt like it was about to collapse. "I only practiced the first move to the 15th style and I am already so tired. I don't have the strength to continue practicing. Am I too useless?" Tang Jing blamed himself. "Kid, you don't know what's good for you. Do you know how much other people can practice the Heaven Flying Immortal for the first time?" Tian Chanzi suddenly said, his voice trembling slightly. "How much?" Tang Jing looked at him blankly. "How would I know this?" "The 5th style of the first move." "Ah, so little?" "As far as I know, the sect's genius stopped at the 10th style for the first time. Kid, you have already practiced to the 15th style and you are still not satisfied. You still say that you are useless. How do you want other people to live?" Tian Chanzi was flustered and exasperated. Tang Jing scratched his head embarrassedly and said, I don't know about this. But what style did you practice to? I won't tell you. Haha, don't tell me you don't even have the fifth style, so you are too embarrassed to say it. Who said that? I practiced to the seventh style and could be considered one of the best in the sect. Tian Chanzi hurriedly explained. However, he immediately realized that he had been tricked. He was flustered and exasperated. Kid, you are getting better and better. The seventh style, it seems that you have a lot less than me. Do you think that everyone is like you, a freak with the 9-yang saint body? Tian Chanzi unhappily said. His self-esteem had been greatly damaged. Chapter 49. Tian Chanzi said in a deep voice, there are many spells, but there are many profound spells that you have no way to practice. I suggest that you focus on 2 directions. What are those 2 directions? Formations and true fire. Formations are divided into defensive and offensive formations. The requirements for offensive formations are very high, so naturally its power is also very high. Have you heard of the phrase, drawing a prison? Of course I've heard of it. Drawing a prison is a type of offensive formation. Just casually draw a formation and it will trap the enemy in place. No matter how powerful you are, it will be difficult to escape the fate of being killed. Tang Jing was fascinated and couldn't help but sigh, that's too powerful. Haha, that's why I say that your knowledge is still far from enough. However, don't expect to learn such an offensive formation now. Learning defensive formations is a good choice. However, the initial stages of defensive formations generally require the assistance of external objects. Generally, jade stones are required. You need to arrange the formation within the jade stones. When the enemy attacks, the defensive formation will automatically activate and achieve the effect of protection. Jade, where can I find jade? Of course you have to buy it. Tang Jing's face immediately turned bitter. In order to save his grandfather, he had already spent all his money, so where would he find the money to buy jade? No, I must earn money to buy jade. Right, can this jade protect others? Of course it can. As long as you wear the jade will naturally protect you. Tang Jing's heart moved. Now he had the confidence to protect himself, but many of the important people around him did not have the ability to protect themselves, such as his grandfather and Fang Shishir. Then hurry up and teach me this defensive formation. In addition, there is also the body lock technique. You said before that when I reach the 3rd grade refining chi I can learn this spell. The pressure point technique had saved Tang Jing more than once, so he had long been looking forward to learning the body lock technique. The body lock technique was more powerful than the pressure point technique. It did not require physical contact and could be completed by chanting the incantation. It was simply the best choice for protection. Alright, the body immobilization technique only has a few lines of incantations. This incantation is used to draw in the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, thus impacting the person's acupuncture points to achieve the effect of body immobilization. However, the effect varies from person to person. The smoother your communication with the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, the better the effect of the technique. Tang Jing silently memorized the incantation. The incantation was very short, consisting of only a few words. It would only take a few seconds to finish chanting. However, without a target to cast the spell on, he did not know how effective it would be. For the next 2 days, the monthly mock exam was held as scheduled. Tang Jing deliberately controlled his score so that he would continue to be in the last position. After the exam was the last day of March, and the entire grade was on holiday. Fang Shishir originally planned to stay with Tang Jing, but because of a guest at her house, she changed her plans at the last minute. Tang Jing was at a loss as to how to make money. He could not continue to fight. Was he supposed to work? Don't be ridiculous. How much can you earn from doing odd jobs? Buying jade would cost a lot of money. The least would be tens of thousands and the most would be hundreds of thousands. This was a huge sum of money. Tang Jing was just an ordinary high school student. How could he earn so much money in such a short period of time? Boss, today is a rare day off. Come with me to a place. Feng Yong suddenly called. Where are we going? You'll know when we get there. I guarantee that this trip will not be in vain. Feng Yong mysteriously said. Since Tang Jing had nothing to do, he agreed. Not long after, Feng Yong drove in front of Tang Jing. Feng Yong, you know how to drive. Tang Jing looked at him in surprise. Driving is not difficult. Boss, you're so smart. You'll definitely be able to learn it. Tang Jing actually had the idea of learning how to drive. However, he had to study and cultivate at the same time. He had no time to do so. He could only wait until after the college entrance exam. Boss, the place we're going to today is quite interesting. There's a lot of fun. Feng Yong excitedly said. Oh, just what kind of place is it that makes you so excited? Hey, I'll keep you in suspense. You'll naturally know when we get there. The car sped all the way to the suburbs. A large building complex appeared in front of them. The greenery on both sides of the road became more and more beautiful. It was truly a place filled with green trees and surrounded by small rivers. It was completely devoid of the hustle and bustle of the city. The car stopped in front of the building complex. Feng Yong handed over an invitation card. A man wearing a black suit and headset opened the door. He looked like a bodyguard from the movies. As the car drove in, Tang Jing felt that the scenery inside was even more beautiful than outside. Hundreds of flowers bloomed. Not far away was a huge lake and a golf course. In the distance, one could even faintly see Changheng Mountain. This is our destination, Ordinary Balance Courtyard. It is said that in ancient times, it was the imperial palace. Look at those ancient buildings. Many of them are relics left behind from ancient times. Later generations built many new ones. That's why it has become like this. This is where many successful people of ordinary balance live. Feng Yong introduced. Tang Jing nodded. He did not say a word. He already knew that Feng Yong's family was not ordinary, so he was not surprised. Boss, you're really amazing. The first time I came here it was like Granny Lu entering the Grandview Garden. But you didn't react at all. This must be what my father meant by being indifferent. My father will be here in a while. Let's play first. Boss, there's everything here. What do you want to play? I'm not familiar with it. You decide. Tang Jing lightly said. He was not completely unsurprised. Seeing such a luxurious place for the first time, no matter who it was, they would be surprised. But with the increase of Tang Jing's power, his state of mind had undergone a great change. He no longer completely showed the changes in his state of mind on his face. There's something fun here that you can't find anywhere else. Come, I'll take you there. These buildings were like ancient palaces. They were richly decorated and extremely luxurious. A moment later, the two arrived at a large hall. Casino? Tang Jing was surprised. Ah, that's why I said this place can't be found anywhere else. The Ordinary Balance Courtyard's backer is very awesome. So this casino is very safe. Many people gamble here. It's simply the Ordinary Balance's Las Vegas. You play, I'll just watch. Tang Jing only had $100 on him. He couldn't even gamble a single round. Moreover, he was not in a good position to do this. How can that be? Boss, I brought you here, so how can I let you watch? Look, this is my little treasury. There's $200,000 inside. It's all the pocket money I've saved up over the years. I've already prepared it. Today we're going to kill and win big. Feng Yong's eyes shined like a pervert seeing a naked beauty. For the first time, Tang Jing discovered that Feng Yong actually had the potential to be a gambler. But he remembered his grandfather's teachings. 10 gambles, 9 losses. He wanted to persuade Feng Yong, but he was worried about ruining his mood, so he didn't say anything. Boss, here's $200,000 worth of chips. We'll split it in half. Let's play separately for now. Later we'll see whose results are better. Feng Yong stuffed the chips he had just exchanged into Tang Jing, and then rushed to the gambling table. Tang Jing shook his head and helplessly sighed. The uncertainty of gambling was too great. He wouldn't risk Feng Yong's money. He knew that even if he lost it all, Feng Yong wouldn't let him pay it back. But he wouldn't do that. Tang Jing strolled around the casino. It was very big and there were all kinds of gambling. There was even a separate room on the second floor. Kid, aren't you worried about money? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly sounded. You mean gambling? What if I lose? It's not my money, it's Feng Yong's money. With me here you'll still lose. You're simply insulting me. Tian Chanzi said indignantly. What do you mean? You mean you have a way to win money? Of course, with me here, it'll be hard for you not to win money. Tian Chanzi boasted proudly. Tang Jing's head moved. If Tian Chanzi had a way to win money, then this was the fastest way to earn money. I'll bet. Tang Jing made up his mind. In this society, it was hard to do anything without money. Moreover, he also knew that in the future he would need money in many ways, so he had to earn money as fast as possible. Tian Chanzi, what method do you have? I can tell you the other person's cards. Tang Jing was very happy. No wonder Tian Chanzi was so confident. If he could see the other person's cards, then he could definitely win money. Then let's play Golden Flower. Among the gambling here, this was a game that Tang Jing was slightly familiar with, so he went straight to the gambling table of Golden Flower. It just so happened that one person had lost too much, so he threw his cards away and stopped playing. He kept muttering, F***ck, this position is too unlucky. I've lost 500,000 yuan. I'll go change my position and play something else. Tang Jing sat down. The others glanced at him and signaled the beautiful dealer to deal the cards. The dealer glanced at Tang Jing and quietly dealt the cards. There were 5 people at the table and each of them got 3 cards. The 4 people didn't look at their cards, but Tang Jing directly picked up his cards. The other people showed a look of ridicule. They thought that another person had come to give money. Looking at Tang Jing's unfamiliar appearance, it was obvious that he didn't gamble often. The starting bet was 1,000 yuan. The dealer started to bet and directly put down 2,000 yuan. The second and third also put down 2,000 yuan. It was Tang Jing's turn. Tang Jing had already looked at his cards. If he followed, he would have to bet 4,000 yuan. Everyone looked at him. He seemed to be thinking as if he was weighing the pros and cons. In fact, Tang Jing was very happy. Before he looked at his cards, he had already learned his cards from Tian Chanzi. He just picked them up to verify Tian Chanzi's words. Tian Chanzi's words were true. Tian Chanzi also told him the other people's cards. This time his luck was bad. He was the worst among all of them, so he didn't plan to gamble and directly folded. The others looked at him with ridicule. He was too timid. He was indeed a newbie. If you were always careful in gambling, you wouldn't win money. Gambling was about gambling. If you were too careful, you would lose more in the end. This game ended quickly. In the end, the fat man diagonally opposite Tang Jing won nearly 100,000 yuan. Tang Jing said that if he didn't have Tian Chanzi's help, he might have lost all the chips. Chapter 50. This time, Tang Jing did not look at his cards. He followed the others and placed a $2,000 bet. The others were secretly delighted. Young people were impatient. After losing the first round, they immediately lost their cool. After the first round of bets, one person looked at his cards. Tang Jing was still sitting calmly because he already knew all the cards. This time his cards were the biggest, so he was not worried at all. The person who looked at his cards found that his cards were not bad. He revealed a happy expression and continued to bet. After the second round of bets, 4 people placed bets while one person placed bets. Next, 2 people looked at their cards. One of them sighed and folded his cards. It was obvious that his cards were too small. The other person did not move. It seemed that his cards were not bad. Now there were 4 people left at the table. Tang Jing and the fatty who had won the previous round did not look at their cards. The fatty sat calmly and seemed to be full of confidence. He was clearly an old gambler. After the third round of bets, Tang Jing pretended to look at his cards. The fatty also looked at his cards. He did not move, making it difficult for others to see his cards clearly. However, Tang Jing already knew his cards. The fatty had a pair of aces and a king. His cards were the biggest after Tang Jing. Tang Jing had a straight of 4, 5, 6, and was the biggest card on the table. One person saw that he had already placed 3 rounds of bets and directly competed with the fatty. He shook his head in annoyance as he lost. The other person stared at Tang Jing and also sadly folded when he competed with him. In the end, only Tang Jing and the fatty were left at the table. The fatty looked at Tang Jing and smiled. "Young man, your luck is not bad." Tang Jing smiled and said, "I'll count on your auspicious words." The 2 of them placed 2 more rounds of bets. There were already tens of thousands of dollars on the table. The fatty's expression changed slightly. He stared at Tang Jing and said, "I don't believe that your luck is really that good. I'll open you." The result was self-evident. Tang Jing won. The fatty looked at Tang Jing suspiciously. This was the first time he folded without hesitation, but this time he persisted until the end and won. It was really strange. However, Tang Jing's cards were not small, so he should have persisted. The game continued. With the help of Tian Chanzi, Tang Jing was like a god. After a while, the chips in front of him were piled high. He had won nearly 500,000 yuan. He lost and left the table. Everyone gradually realized that Tang Jing did not win every time. He would lose sometimes, but he always won more than he lost. As long as he persisted until the end, the winner would definitely be him. It was as if he had known the cards beforehand. But how was that possible? F***ck, I can't play this card anymore. The other 3 picked up their remaining chips and stood up. They looked at Tang Jing as if he were a monster. The people nearby also noticed the situation here. They gathered around and discussed. Deal the cards. The fatty did not admit defeat. The fatty did not dare to be careless and directly looked at his cards. His eyes flashed with joy, but he pretended to be calm. This was because his cards were 3Ks. This was already considered a super big shot in the Golden Flower game. He was confident that he could win this game. He could not help but regret looking at his cards. If he had known that his cards were so good, he would have kept betting and won all the chips in his opponent's hand. However, if he let his opponent escape with such good cards, it would be a pity. Thus, he pushed over 500,000 yuan worth of chips in front of him and said, "I'll bet all of it. Let's compete directly. I don't believe that your luck is really that good. You've already seen your cards, but your opponent hasn't. Aren't you bullying him?" Someone spoke up. "Shut up. I'm the one betting, not you. Young man, do you have the courage to do so? If your luck is really that good, then all the chips in front of me will be yours." The fatty provoked and tempted at the same time. Tang Zheng's face was calm as he said, "Since you also say that my luck is good, then I'll take advantage of your auspicious words and gamble." Tang Zheng pushed over 500,000 yuan worth of chips in front of him, as if he really did fall for the opponent's provocation. "Boss." Suddenly Feng Yong came in. When he saw the chips in front of Tang Zheng, his eyes widened in disbelief. "Boss, you won this much? Today's luck is good. How are your results?" I lost it all." Feng Yong hung his head dejectedly and said embarrassedly. He looked at the situation on the table and asked in surprise, "You want to bet all of your chips?" Seeing Tang Zheng nod, Feng Yong immediately advised, "Boss, it's too risky. The opponent has already seen his cards. Looking at his confident appearance, his cards must be very good. You haven't seen your cards yet, so you're at a disadvantage." "Hehe, everyone says that my luck is good, so I also want to bet on my luck," Tang Zheng said indifferently. Feng Yong sighed, "Boss really is the boss. This boldness is extraordinary." Although Feng Yong's family was well off, he did not have such boldness. Seeing that Tang Zheng had made up his mind, as a younger brother he naturally could not lose face for his boss. He passionately said, "I believe in you, boss. This time we will definitely win." But in his heart he sighed. "Although this was my hard-earned savings, but I have already lost it all. The boss also loses, then it doesn't matter. Young people are really too inexperienced." The others sighed in pity. The fatty's sinister intentions were too obvious. Tang Zheng ignored the other people's gossip and directly said to the fatty, "Then you open your cards." 3 kings. The fatty threw his cards and heroically said, "Wow, he can even get this kind of card. His luck is really good. No wonder he would bet all of his chips. This time that young man will definitely lose." Feng Yong's face was very ugly. Needless to say, he would definitely lose. "Boss, let's go," Feng Yong dejectedly said. "We haven't opened our cards yet. How can we leave?" Tang Zheng lightly said. Feng Yong dejectedly said, "Boss, he has 3 kings. It's too big. We will definitely lose." "That's right. Young man, let's go. Don't be so impulsive in the future," the others advised. The fatty provocatively looked at Tang Zheng. He proudly said, "Don't you think that your luck is good? You want to be a deserter without opening your cards?" "Ah. Everyone says that my luck is good today. I also think that my luck is not bad. So the outcome is still not decided." Tang Zheng loudly said, "Feng Yong, help me open my cards." "Boss, it doesn't matter if we lose. Let's go. Open your cards." Feng Yong helplessly opened his card. It was an ace. The others all shook their heads. It was only an ace. In front of 3 kings, it was still insignificant. The second ace. 2 aces. His cards are not small. This young man's luck is really good. Someone exclaimed. "What's the use of being good? It's only a pair of aces. We will still lose." Someone retorted. "Who knows, maybe he'll get 3 aces, said someone who didn't want to give up. "Haha, are you awake? How can 3 aces be so easy to get? Moreover, 3 aces against 3 kings. The probability is too small." "The probability is small, but it's not impossible. Quickly open your cards," someone urged. Feng Yong looked at Tang Zheng and said in his heart, "Could it really be 3 aces?" He was a little excited and slowly opened the 3rd card. The 3rd ace. "Wow!" someone exclaimed in amazement. It was really 3 ace. It was too unbelievable. The fatty's smile immediately froze. He was like a puppet as he stared blankly at the 3 aces. How could it be so coincidental? Feng Yong witnessed this miraculous moment and even personally participated in it. He couldn't help but excitedly jump up and laugh. "Ha, the 3 aces. We won. Boss won. Everyone looked at Tang Zheng with a bit of shock in their eyes. This little handsome guy's luck was truly heaven-defying. He was simply the god of gambling. Moreover, he was unfazed by anything. He simply had the style of an otherworldly expert. Impossible. That's definitely cheating. Fatty suddenly screamed like a madman. The others all revealed looks of disdain. Cheating? Please, there were so many pairs of eyes watching. Moreover, he didn't even look at his cards. How could he cheat? Moreover, who would dare to cheat in the ordinary balance courtyard? Did he not want to live anymore? Hey, Fatty, don't slander others. A loss is a loss. There are so many pairs of eyes watching. Feng Yong disdainfully said. The Fatty was speechless. He also realized that the situation he spoke of was impossible. This could only be attributed to Tang Zheng's luck being too good. Or perhaps he was seeking his own death. Boss, let's not play with this kind of tasteless person. Let's go play something else. Feng Yong said. Let's not play anymore. Your father should have arrived. Let's go. Tang Zheng had already won 1 million after deducting 100,000. This was not considered much in the casino. But after causing such a ruckus, it really was too eye-catching. Moreover, this amount of money was enough for his recent expenses. So he chose to leave. Boss, your luck is so good. You should continue to kill. Feng Yong excitedly said. Tang Zheng shook his head and said, luck cannot always be good. We should quit while we are ahead. Aye, that really is a pity. Feng Yong said regretfully. The two of them went to exchange for chips. Feng Yong, this is the 1 million we won. You and I will each take 500,000. Tang Zheng said. When Feng Yong heard this, he hurriedly shook his head and said, how can that be? This was all won by you. How can I take your money? If I did not have your capital, even if I had good luck, I would not have been able to win this money. So half of the credit goes to you. No, this is all because of you, boss. If I were to gamble by myself, I would have already lost everything. So the most I want is 200,000. Tang Zheng tried to persuade him again, but Feng Yong persisted. With no other choice, Tang Zheng could only transfer the remaining 900,000 into his card. In the monitoring room, a handsome man with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes watched the replay with interest. In the end, the screen froze on Tang Zheng's calm face. He could not help but mutter to himself, he is very confident. It seems that he already knew the cards. Ah, interesting. Such an interesting little fellow appeared in the ordinary balance area. As he said this, he turned his head to look at the old man beside him. The old man was drowsy as if he was dozing off. Qin Lao, did you see any clues about him? Qin Lao opened his eyes and glanced at the screen. He shook his head and said, he did not cheat. As for the method, my old eyes are not good enough to see it. Chapter 51. When Tang Zheng saw Feng Yun, he immediately confirmed that he and Feng Yong were father and son because there were some similarities between their eyebrows. Feng Yun had the calmness and magnanimity of a middle-aged man, but he also did not have the arrogance of 1,000 miles away, making people feel very close to him. Feng Yun sized up Tang Zheng while saying with a smile, Little Tang, your name is like thunder to my ears. My family's little brat talks about you every day, praising you to the point that you are like heaven and earth. Seeing you today, I can see that you are indeed a talent. This little brat finally has a good eye. Uncle Feng, you flatter me. Tang Zheng lightly smiled. No, I have never seen my family's kid so convinced before. You're the first. I heard that you specially made a revision plan for him. During this period of time, he is much more diligent than before. When he came back yesterday, he told me that this month's mock exam will definitely be better than before. Feng Yong and I are friends. Helping each other is something we should do. All right. You should make more friends at your age. Let's go, the auction is about to start. Let's go in first. Tang Zheng looked at Feng Yong and did not know what auction it was. Feng Yong shrugged his shoulders and said in a low voice, the auction is not interesting at all. A group of people pretending to be cultured. It is not as fun as the casino. You seven went to the casino? Feng Yun casually asked, did you win or lose? Feng Yong beamed with joy and said, Dad, you don't know how cool Boss was. He was simply the god of gambling. He easily won 1 million. Feng Yong looked at Tang Zheng with astonishment and said, Little Tang is good at gambling? No, I was just lucky. I don't usually gamble. Feng Yun solemnly nodded his head and said, gambling a little is good for the mood, but gambling a lot is bad for the body. Especially you young people must remember. Tang Zheng once thought of gambling to make money. He had Tian Chanzi to cheat. Not to mention millions, even millions would not be difficult. But later he rejected the idea. Gambling was not the right way to do it. Moreover, if he won so much money, wouldn't others be jealous? Although he had a lot of skills, but he would also get into trouble. The gains would not make up for the losses. Feng Yun's words hit the nail on the head, causing his favorable impression of Feng Yun to multiply. Little Yong, the auction is not completely a show of culture. This is an opportunity to train one's decisiveness and foresight. Feng Yun educated. Feng Yong curled his lips and said disapprovingly, "Anyway, I feel that it's very boring. However, with my boss accompanying me today, it's a little more interesting than before." Feng Yun helplessly shook his head and said, "Little Tang, look at how lazy he is. I really can't help it. Uncle Feng, everyone has their own interests. Feng Yong's interests just don't lie in this. Sai, I don't expect him to have any great achievements. As long as he doesn't squander away the family business that I worked so hard to earn, everything will be fine." Tang Zheng's heart skipped a beat. He still didn't know what Feng Yong's family did. Feng Yong was secretive about it, so he didn't ask directly. Hey Feng Yun, all you do is fiddle with shameful things and you still want your son to inherit your father's business. You really are bold. Suddenly, a person said in a strange tone. Looking towards the source of the voice, Tang Zheng immediately saw a familiar face, the fatty who just lost to him. Feng Yun frowned and said, "Jianghu, I don't need you to tell me what to do with my business. You should just mind your own business." Haha, I also don't want to tell you what to do. For a grown man to fiddle with such shameful things like sex toys, it really is shameful. Jianghu jokingly said. Feng Yong heard this and his face turned red. He lowered his head in embarrassment. Tang Zheng suddenly realized why Feng Yong was secretive about his family business. So his family was in the sex toy business. Suddenly Jianghu saw Tang Zheng and was slightly stunned. "It's you." Tang Zheng coldly said, "It's me. Little brat, so you and the one surnamed Feng are in cahoots. You don't learn good things at such a young age associating with this kind of person." Jianghu disdainfully said. Tang Zheng did not bat an eyelid, but Feng Yong was angry and anxious. He said in a low voice, "Dad, just now boss won this fatty's money." Feng Yun looked at Tang Zheng with admiration and said, "Jianghu, so you lost to little Tang in gambling. Didn't you always brag that your card skills are unparalleled? I think this is too much of an exaggeration. This brat is just lucky. Feng Yun, it seems that you will be participating in the auction later. Be careful not to get hit. Thank you for your good intentions, but you don't need to worry." Jianghu glanced at Tang Zheng again and then left in a huff. Feng Yong looked at Jiangduli's back and said, "Dad, who is this person? Too hateful. Just a clown. Come, let's go in." Tang Zheng and Feng Yong walked half a step behind Feng Yun. Feng Yong stuttered and said, "Boss, if you know that my family is in this business, will you look down on me?" Tang Zheng suddenly realized that it was because of this that he did not want to tell him. Tang Zheng coughed and said, "Feng Yong, there is no distinction between high and low in business. No one has the right to look down on you. I will also not look down on you. Do you understand?" Feng Yong seemed to understand but not fully, nodded and said, "Boss, I understand." Feng Yun's mouth hooked up into a faint smile as he said in his heart, "Little Yong has always rejected this business. Perhaps Tang Zheng can change his mind." The auction hall was already filled with people. Tang Zheng and the others found a seat and sat down. Feng Yun introduced, "Ordinary Balance Courtyard's members are antique enthusiasts. Therefore they will regularly hold auctions. In addition, antique enthusiasts will also conduct private transactions. After the auction, there will be a trade fair where everyone will take out their treasures or exchange them with others or sell them. The antiques in the auction will not be fake because the Ordinary Balance Courtyard will appraise them in advance. But in the trade fair, it is inevitable that there will be fakes because this is a private transaction. The Ordinary Balance Courtyard will only provide the location and will not guarantee the authenticity of the antiques." Feng Yong curled his lips and said, "The trade fair is purely a scam. The slightest bit of carelessness will cause an eyesore." "Eyesore?" Tang Zheng suspiciously said. "Yes, eyesore is a jargon. It means to buy a fake." Feng Yong explained. "After the auction you can go take a look at the trade fair. If you are lucky you can also find some treasures," Feng Yun suggested. Feng Yong's eyes lit up and said, "Boss, your luck today is exploding. Who knows, maybe you can even find some treasures." Tang Zheng smiled. He did not know anything about antiques. It was also unlike gambling where he had Tian Chanzi to cheat. How could he have such good luck? When the auction started, the handsome guy from the surveillance room came out and sat in the front row of the VIP seats. There were a total of 3 VIP seats in the auction hall. Only people with special status could sit there. Even the ordinary Balance Courtyard's municipal committee secretary did not have the qualifications to sit there. Therefore, under normal circumstances, these 3 VIP seats were always empty. Everyone was trying to guess who this handsome guy was. He was unexpectedly treated as a VIP by the ordinary Balance Courtyard. But he was clearly a new face and no one had a clue. The auctioneer walked up to the front stage and gave a welcome speech. The auction began. Tang Jing had only seen this kind of scene on TV before. He was very interested and attentively watched the auction. The bidding was very fierce and the first item was sold for a high price. These auction items are all guaranteed by the ordinary Balance Courtyard to guarantee their authenticity. Even if the price is a bit high, it will not be too eye-catching. Feng Yun carefully explained. Dad, are you going to make a move today? Feng Yong curiously asked. Feng Yun said, let's first see if there are any treasures worth bidding for. The next item's specific age cannot be verified. But it is definitely an antique. This is an ancient Taoist alchemy furnace. The starting price is 500,000. The auctioneer loudly said as he pointed to a simple and unadorned alchemy furnace that was half the height of a person. Can't be verified? The crowd began to discuss. This argument had never been made in the ordinary Balance Courtyard. After all, the ordinary Balance Courtyard's strength was extraordinary and they had a specialized appraisal grandmaster. If the age cannot be verified, then the value of this item will be greatly reduced. Maybe it is a treasure. If someone were to buy it and take it back, they would make a huge profit. Maybe they would lose a lot of money. It's not like everyone doesn't know the ordinary Balance Courtyard's appraisal grandmaster. Since he was unable to identify the origin of this alchemy furnace, then how many other people would have the ability to do so? Yes, that's why it's best to be careful. Feng Yun shook his head. He clearly had no interest in this alchemy furnace. But when he turned his head he discovered that Tang Zheng was staring at the alchemy furnace. His eyes were burning with passion. Feng Yong also discovered his strangeness and curiously asked, Boss, why do your eyes look like you're looking at a beautiful woman? Aren't you a bit too thirsty? Tang Zheng was indeed very thirsty because Tian Chanzi was already excitedly screaming, Ha, the 9 revolving alchemy furnace. You actually encountered the 9 revolving alchemy furnace here. Little brat, you must obtain this treasure. You must obtain it. What kind of treasure is this 9 revolving alchemy furnace? The 9 revolving alchemy furnace is an earth-level treasure. It is a high-quality alchemy furnace. But I don't know why such a treasure would appear here. Heaven Monk was extremely puzzled, but it was immediately replaced by joy as he continued to speak. Let me tell you, magic treasures are divided into 4 levels: heaven, earth, profound, and yellow. Heaven-level magic treasures can be encountered but not sought after, so earth-level magic treasures are extremely precious. In the past, many people died trying to snatch the 9 revolving alchemy furnace. I never thought that it would be so easy for you, little brat. Hey, even I am a bit envious of your luck. Tang Zheng's head moved. He had already seen the wonders of alchemy, so he attached great importance to alchemy. It was just that he had never encountered a suitable alchemy furnace. Now that he encountered such a treasure, he would definitely not let it go. Boss, you wouldn't want to buy this dark and swarthy alchemy furnace, right? Feng Yong asked in surprise. Feng Yun saw this and hurriedly advised, Little Tang, this thing is too mysterious and the uncertainty is too great. It is very likely that you will suffer a loss. You should be careful. Tang Jing said, Careful my ass. This kind of treasure can only be encountered but not sought. I must obtain it. Chapter 52. The bidding for the 9 revolving pill furnace began with a starting bid of 500,000. Someone bid 600,000 and soon another bid 650,000. After that, no one else raised their paddle. It was clear that everyone had the same concerns as Feng Yun. The auctioneer was a bit embarrassed as this was completely different from the previous intense atmosphere. 650,000 going once, are there any higher bids? No one answered. 650,000 going twice. When Tang Jing saw this, he was secretly delighted. These people did not know what was good for them, so he had profited. 660,000. Tang Jing raised his paddle. The auctioneer raised his eyebrows and said, 660,000, is there still a bid? Tang Zheng was nervous to death as he silently prayed that no one else would bid. The handsome guy in the VIP section turned his head to look at Tang Zheng, his eyes slightly fluctuating. 660,000 going once, 660,000 going twice, 660,000 going thrice, sold. The auctioneer made the final call and the 9 revolving pill furnace belonged to Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng let out a sigh of relief as the feeling of picking up a bargain was truly wonderful. Feng Yun secretly sighed as Tang Zheng was still too young and impulsive. Feng Yong suspiciously looked at Tang Zheng and asked, "Boss, is there something special about this furnace?" After interacting with Tang Zheng for a while, Feng Yong knew that Tang Zheng would not speak without thinking. Seeing him attach so much importance to this furnace, he began to have doubts in his heart. "This furnace is useless to others, but it is very useful to me," Tang Zheng said with satisfaction. "Boss, you're not a Taoist, could it be that you still want to refine pills?" Feng Yong had a suspicious look on his face. Tang Zheng faintly smiled and declined to comment. When the auction ended, Feng Yun did not make a move as if there was nothing that interested him. He was rather regretful and unwillingly said, "Let's go take a look at the trade fair and see if there are any treasures worth buying." The trade fair was in a small hall with many stalls. It was a bit like an antique street but a bit more advanced. "You two go play by yourselves, remember not to run around," Feng Yun excitedly said and then went to Taobao. "Boss, there are too many fakes here. You have to be careful." Tang Jing smiled and said, "I'm not a rich man like you. Why would I act recklessly?" "Boss, I'm actually a poor man. My dad is rich but that doesn't mean I'm rich. Moreover, you were much more generous than me just now. 660,000. I've never bought anything that expensive before. Let's go, let's take a look around. Alright, is there anyone selling jade here?" "Yes, but they are all ready-made polished jade wares." 4,500,000 in his eyes was just a small amount of money. He didn't think that Tang Zheng would have such a big reaction. When he saw him buy the pill furnace without even blinking, Song Yu thought that he was a young master from some family. Seems like he guessed wrong. "Mister, this price is absolutely fair. This mister is an expert so he should know that we didn't give a false price." The boss pointed at Song Yu and said. Song Yu nodded his head, acknowledging the boss's words. Tang Zheng's face revealed a difficult expression as he said, "I only have 240,000. It's not even enough. Let's buy a few cheap ones." The boss's smile didn't fade as he said, "We also have cheap ones. 240,000 is enough to buy 4 pieces of jade." Song Yu didn't bat an eyelid as he picked out 4 pieces of cheap jade for Tang Zheng. After Tang Zheng paid for them, the money he won today was completely used up. He once again became poor. "Feng Yong, leave your safety buckle with me for now. I'll give it to you 2 days later." Tang Zheng said. "No problem. Boss, you can leave it for as long as you want." Song Yu was stunned as he looked at Tang Zheng. In his heart he was wondering why he didn't just give it to him. Why did he have to bring it back? But he didn't ask. After all, both sides weren't too familiar with each other. "Mr. Song, thank you for picking out the jade for me. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first." Song Yu discovered many unusual things about Tang Zheng and said, "Why don't we eat together?" "No need. If fate wills it, we'll meet again." Tang Zheng indifferently looked at the distant Qin Lao. His eyes shrunk as he left with Feng Yong. Qin Lao stood in front of Song Yu and asked, "Young master, did you see anything?" "He's a bit special. But as for what it is, I can't say." Song Yu suspiciously said. "This youngster is very interesting. Young master, you definitely won't be able to guess where he came from." "Oh, which family's young master is he?" Song Yu curiously asked. Qin Lao smiled as he shook his head and said, "No, he's just an ordinary person. He's not from any family. Today he was brought in by the little brat beside him." "Ordinary person?" Song Yu was shocked. From Tang Zheng's temperament and style, he didn't seem to be from an ordinary family. Qin Lao saw the doubt in Song Yu's heart and said, "He's indeed a bit strange. But no matter how strange he is, he's just an ordinary person. He's not a martial artist. Why does young master value him so much?" Song Yu muttered, "There must be a demon behind this abnormality. Moreover, I have a strong premonition that he and I will definitely meet again." Qin Lao shook his head and smiled bitterly. Young master was young and impetuous. Sometimes his thoughts were too unconstrained. He came to the ordinary balance for important matters. How could he have any interactions with Tang Zheng? On the way back, Tang Zheng kept recalling Qin Lao's appearance. Others didn't notice Qin Lao's peculiarity, but Tian Chanzi saw it clearly. Qin Lao was actually a 5th grade post-celestial stage expert. Uncle Feng, do you know who Song Yu is sitting in the VIP seats today? Tang Jing curiously asked. Feng Yun was stunned and said, he's called Song Yu? Feng Yong hurriedly said, yes, he said it himself. Feng Yun pondered for a moment and said, the owner of the ordinary balance courtyard is also surnamed Song. Could it be that this Song Yu is a member of the Song family? Is the Song family very powerful? Tang Jing asked. Feng Yun nodded and solemnly said, the Song family can't simply be described as powerful. This family not only has an extraordinary image in the business world, but also in the political and military world. It's like a super aircraft carrier. So powerful. Tang Jing couldn't help but be speechless. Feng Yong also opened his eyes wide and exclaimed, no wonder the ordinary balance courtyard is still standing. So the boss is so powerful. Boss, just now Song Yu wanted to treat you to a meal. Why did you refuse? Tang Jing lightly said, I'm not familiar with him. Feng Yun looked at Tang Jing in shock. He actually made Song Yu take the initiative to invite him. This honor was really amazing. Feng Yun couldn't help but secretly sigh and thought, this Tang Jing is definitely not a fish in a pond. In the future he will definitely soar to the sky. Little Yong being on good terms with him may be a great opportunity for the Feng family. At this moment, Feng Yun's impression of Tang Jing underwent a huge change. The Song family's roots are in Beijing. The ordinary balance courtyard is only an insignificant property of the Song family. However, the Song family rarely comes to the ordinary balance. Why did this Song Yu come to the ordinary balance? Feng Yun doubtfully muttered to himself. Dad, why do you care about this? No matter how powerful the Song family is, it has nothing to do with us. Feng Yong said. Feng Yun shook his head and didn't say anything. How could Feng Yong understand his good intentions? If he could form a connection with the Song family, then his company would experience a qualitative leap. Little Tang, since Song Yu doesn't have any ill intentions, if there is a chance, you can try to get in touch with her. Feng Yun said. If Tang Jing was able to obtain the appreciation of the Song family, then for Tang Jing it would definitely be a great thing. Tang Jing declined to comment. Right now he and Song Yu were people from two different worlds. There was no need to think too much about the relationship between the two. His top priority was to engrave the formation into the jade artifact he bought. Chapter 53. There were tens of thousands of defensive formations, but with Tang Jing's current strength, he could only use the simplest defensive formation, which was to inject his true qi into the jade stone. When attacked, the formation would automatically activate and his true qi would attack, thus achieving the effect of a defensive formation. Under the night sky, Tang Jing's fingers moved and a complex array was engraved into the jade artifact. Then he immediately activated his martial arts and poured his true qi into the jade artifact. The jade artifact emitted a white luster, and then in a flash disappeared into the jade artifact. Fuke Tang Jing let out a long breath. This seemingly simple process consumed most of his true qi. This engraving formation is really not an easy task. He could not help but sigh. Of course, if it was easy, then there would not be so many mediocre people in this world. Tian Chanzi said, with your skills you can only engrave one formation per night, so these 4 gifts will take you 4 nights. After you finish this, you can cultivate your true qi and then try to refine pills. What you need the most right now is the spirit pill. It can gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for your own use and quickly increase your cultivation. He had already bought the 9 revolving pill furnace, so refining pills was not a difficult task. He turned his head and looked at the 9 revolving pill furnace in a wooden box in the corner, and could not help but feel a little excited. After the holidays he went to class during the day and engraved formations at night. 3 days later, the formations of the 4 jade artifacts were all completed. Shishir, this jade Buddha is for you. In the small forest on campus, Tang Jing and Fang Shishir were enjoying a sweet couple's world. Fang Shishir looked at the jade Buddha in her hand in surprise filling her heart. You're giving me a gift? Of course, remember to bring it with you. When I'm not by your side, it will replace me to accompany you. Tang Jing said. Fang Shishir nodded and said, Tang Jing, you're really too good. Saying this, she threw herself into his embrace, raised her head and gently kissed him on the cheek. Tang Jing's heart seemed to melt as he hugged her tightly. I'll definitely take it with me. I'll take it to class, eat and sleep with it just like you're always with me. Fang Shishir's lips curled up as she said sweetly. I suddenly realized that you've grown taller. Suddenly, Fang Shishir pointed at their heads and said curiously. Tang Zheng was stunned for a moment. He was originally only 1.7 meters tall and Fang Shishir was 1.65 meters tall. There was not much difference, but now he was half a head taller than her. He was at least 1.75 meters tall. Could this also be due to the cultivation of the ancient Clear Heaven Scroll? Yes, this was the benefit of cultivation. His body had been cleansed and his bones had been tempered. His growth rate had increased and his height had naturally increased. Don't you like it when I grow taller? Of course I do. The two people returned to the classroom hand in hand. Tang Zheng had just sat down when Yi Dingdang could not help but glance at him. She knew that he must have gone to meet with Fang Shishir. Yi Dingdang, I'll give you a present. Tang Zheng took out the jade Buddha that he had prepared. You're giving me a present? Yi Dingdang's eyes widened in astonishment. Tang Zheng nodded and said, yes, don't look down on it. It's not anything valuable. It's just a token of my sincerity. Boss, don't be modest. This jade Buddha is worth $60,000. How could it be worthless? Feng Yong came up and volunteered and said without stopping. $60,000? Yi Dingdang exclaimed, I can't accept such a valuable gift. She was very clear about Tang Zheng's family. $60,000 was definitely not a small amount. Moreover, one should not accept a reward without doing any work. If I tell you to take it, then take it. Tang Zheng put the jade Buddha into her hands without any hesitation. Feng Yong also persuaded, that's right. This is boss sincerity. Look, I also have one. He said as he took out the safety bracelet around his neck. Tang Zheng looked at Tang Zheng suspiciously. Just what did he want to do? Give her such a valuable gift. Moreover, it was more than one. I heard that jade can protect one's safety. Didn't you encounter danger last time? So I bought one for you. Tang Zheng explained. Jade can protect one's safety? Yi Dingdang did not know whether to laugh or cry. If jade really had such a function, then wouldn't it be crazily fought over? She looked at him with shining eyes, not knowing what he was planning. What are you being so fussy about? Just remember to always wear it. Tang Zheng did not want to be long-winded with her and directly reminded her. The bell for class rang and Lu Qingmei walked in. Yi Dingdang did not have the chance to refuse and could only resentfully put away the jade Buddha. Lu Qingmei's face was not good. There was a trace of anger between her eyebrows as she said, the results of this mock exam are out. Most of the students in our class have improved. Congratulations to everyone. Everyone was beaming with joy and secretly clenched their fists. This period of hard work was not in vain. I want to praise student Feng Yong. He has improved the most. Feng Yong excitedly stood up and said, this is the result of the teacher's teaching. In addition, it is also inseparable from my boss Tang Zheng's detailed review plan. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to improve so quickly. Everyone's gaze swept towards Tang Zheng. So Feng Yong's improvement was also due to him. They did not know how his results were this time. Many people had this thought but were too embarrassed to ask. However, there was one person who asked, Takashi. This was because he already knew about Tang Zheng's results from a reliable source, so he deliberately wanted to humiliate him. Tang Zheng had humiliated him many times. He was not Tang Zheng's opponent, so this time he wanted to openly humiliate Tang Zheng. Teacher Lu, since Feng Yong praised Tang Zheng so much, I wonder how his results were this time. He must have once again gotten first place in the school. Takashi said with a smile that did not reach his eyes. That's right. Teacher Lu, how were Tang Zheng's results this time? The others also curiously asked. Lu Qingmei's face became even more gloomy. She looked at Tang Zheng with disappointment and saw that his expression was normal as if nothing had happened. She could not help but secretly sigh. She changed the topic and said, okay, now let's begin the explanation of this time's exam. Seeing Lu Qingmei change the topic, many people already understood that Tang Zheng's results were not ideal. They could not help but look at him with pity. It seems that there was no hope for him to rise again. Takashi saw that his goal was not achieved and unwillingly said, Teacher Lu, why didn't you mention Tang Zheng's results? Him getting first place in the school is the pride of our class and can encourage everyone to improve. Tang Zheng looked at Takashi with ridicule. How could he not understand his sinister intentions? However, how could this kind of thing affect him? Looking at his proud appearance was like looking at a clown. Although student Tang Zheng's results did not improve, I believe that he will continue to work hard. Lu Qingmei vaguely said. Haha, so he is still in last place. The other students have improved but he is still in last place. Hey, this really is an eye-opener. Takashi loudly laughed. He proudly glanced at Tang Jing. He thought that he would see Tang Jing fly into a rage. However, he discovered that Tang Jing was calm and collected. His heart was startled as he suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. It was as if he used all his strength to hit the air. Stop talking. Lu Qingmei suddenly shouted and began to explain the questions. Tang Jing, you don't seem to have any thoughts about your results? Yi Dingdang curiously asked. What thoughts do I have about being in last place? Don't tell me I have to give an award speech? Tang Jing said self-deprecatingly. Your martial arts are so powerful. How could you be in last place? Yi Dingdang was puzzled. If she had not met Tang Jing before, she would not have doubted that he was in last place. However, the more she interacted with Tang Jing, the more she felt that he was not ordinary. For such an extraordinary person to be in last place, even if she was beaten to death she would not believe it. My head was injured and my memory is not good. Don't you know? You can even open up my dad's meridians. Don't tell me you can't heal your own injuries? Tang Jing smiled and did not explain further. He said, who knows, maybe one day I will be enlightened again. After class, Lu Qingmei came in front of Tang Jing. She knocked on his desk and seriously said, Tang Jing, come with me to the office. After the two figures disappeared from the office, the classroom was filled with discussion. Takashi said, Tang Jing is dragging us down again. This is an insult to our class. Feng Yong angrily stood up and said, Takashi, no one will treat you as a mute if you don't speak. Haha, last place little brother, what I say is none of your business. Boss's wisdom is not something you can compare to. Yeah, he is too powerful. I really can't compare to the last place in wisdom. Shut up. Yi Dingdang suddenly shouted loudly, causing Gao Daji to shut his mouth in dissatisfaction, and secretly hatefully said, even the last place has so many people protecting him, what the F***ck in the office. Lu Qingmei sighed and said, Tang Jing, your results this time are very bad. Do you know that? Tang Jing did not say a word. I know that you have been distracted by your grandfather's matter. But this is not an excuse. The other students have all improved but you are the only one who has not made any progress. Moreover, this kind of influence is not good. The school has already made a decision regarding your problem. What decision? Tang Jing, I really don't want to see this kind of situation happen. I have also fought for it with the school but... Lu Qingmei shook her head in regret. Are they going to expel me? Tang Jing suspiciously asked. They want you to make up for the 3 years of tuition. Otherwise they will expel you. Lu Qingmei said that Pengcheng International School's tuition was very expensive. The tuition for 3 years was close to 100,000 yuan. For Tang Jing's family this was an astronomical figure. Make up for the tuition, otherwise they will expel me? Yes, this is the school's decision. If you have any difficulties I still have some money here. You can borrow some from your relatives to make up for the tuition. Then take advantage of the next 2 months to work hard and see if you can improve your grades. Improve his grades? Haha, Lu Qingmei, you really have a lot of confidence in him. Suddenly Wu Cuihong's ear-piercing laughter rang out. Chapter 54. Wu Cuihong's sarcasm caused Lu Qingmei to frown and say, Teacher Wu, don't go too far. Don't think that I don't know that this time it was you who played tricks behind the scenes. If it wasn't for you repeatedly making requests to the school, would the school make such a decision on Tang Jing? Wu Cuihong coldly laughed and said, I am doing this for the school's benefit, is there a problem? Is there a need for you to target Tang Jing like this? Am I targeting him? What I said is the truth. He is dead last and the school's resources are wasted on him. Wu Cuihong disdainfully said. The school's responsibility is to educate and not to give up on any student. Even if you want to educate, the other party must be a promising talent. Tang Jing is such a useless person. Letting him take the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam. Tang Jing indifferently looked at Wu Cuihong and said, Old witch, you said that me taking the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam. Then what is not an insult to the college entrance exam? Lu Qingmei looked at Tang Jing in astonishment. She did not think that after receiving such unbearable treatment, he could still be so calm. Of course it is to get good grades and enter a good university. Then what are your so-called good grades? Haha, in any case it won't be your dead last result. If I wasn't dead last in the college entrance exam, What would you say? If you weren't dead last, then what's the difference between dead last and dead last? Wu Zuehong ridiculed. Then what about being first in the school? First in the school, haha, so you are this arrogant. Do you want to be first in the school? If you are able to get first in the school, then You what? I will admit that I have eyes but cannot see and am not fit to be a teacher. Good. If I am able to get first in the school, then you will be kicked out of the teaching team because you are not fit to be a teacher. I promise you, but you won't have the chance. Wu Zuehong was full of confidence and complacency. But if you don't get first place in the school, I want you to kowtow to me in front of all the teachers and students. With so many teachers as witnesses today, I believe that you won't go back on your word. Let's wait and see. We'll see after the college entrance exam. Tang Jing gave a strange smile. This smile made Wu Zuehong startled, and an uneasy feeling rose in her heart for no reason. Why would I have such an absurd feeling? He's just a useless person. Maybe he'll make some progress, but how can he be the first in school? That's impossible. Moreover, he has to collect more than 100,000 yuan in tuition fees within a week to not be expelled. Otherwise, he won't even be able to take part in the college entrance exam, so how can he be the first? With his family situation, 100,000 yuan was simply an astronomical figure. Even if he sold everything in his family, it wouldn't be worth that much money. So, I definitely won. Tang Jing, you've gone against me so many times. Just wait until you kowtow to me and admit your wrongs, haha. Wu Zuehong proudly thought. Lu Qingmei didn't even have time to interject before the two agreed on this bet. Lu Qingmei secretly sighed. Tang Jing was too young and impetuous. How could he recklessly bet on this kind of thing? Tang Jing, you're really too impatient. I'll privately go find Teacher Wu and see if he can cancel this bet. Lu Qingmei obviously didn't want to see Tang Jing be humiliated in the future. Teacher Lu, there's no need. Don't tell me you don't believe in me? Tang Jing winked at her. Lu Qingmei was startled. From Tang Jing's eyes, she saw a strong self-confidence. It was as if the school's first place was within his reach. Lu Qingmei shook her head. This was definitely an illusion. She firmly said, Tang Jing, this isn't a child's play. Since you don't want to cancel the bet, then I, as a teacher, will do my part. From today onwards after school, I'll give you extra lessons. Extra lessons? Teacher Lu, there's no need. Of course. I've said before that I won't give up on any student. You are my student, so of course I won't give up on you. But Tang Jing, I still want to make it clear to you. These 2 months will be very hard on you, but you will reap the rewards of your hard work. So persevere. Lu Qingmei encouraged. Tang Jing bitterly smiled. His time was already tight and he didn't expect that she would take up a portion of it. But he also couldn't refuse her good intentions. Wait for me after school. I'll take you to my home for extra lessons. Home? Of course it's home. If you take extra lessons at school and the other students see that I'm giving you special treatment, they will definitely complain. Oh, I got it. Tang Jing dejectedly walked out of the office. Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly sounded, Little brat, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now that your skills have advanced by leaps and bounds, you need even more purine energy to balance your body. Also, you don't have any plans to eat that girl Fang Shishir. So, spend more time with Lu Qingmei and absorb her purine energy. It will be very beneficial for you. Lu Qingmei had a mysterious yin body. The purine energy in her body was much richer than Fang Shishir's and Yi Dingdong's. It was also much more beneficial for Tang Jing. Tian Chanzi, how can your thoughts be so dirty? How are you like an expert cultivator? Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is my thoughts dirty? I'm doing this for your sake, okay? Humph, a dog biting Lu Dongbin, you don't recognize my good intentions. Anyway, I'm telling you, you can't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You must absorb more of her purine energy. If you can have some physical contact with her, that would be even better. Tian Chanzi wouldn't let go of any opportunity to make Tang Jing stronger. I've spent all my money. What should I do about the 100,000 or so yuan tuition? Tang Jing didn't expect that he would have to worry about money so soon. If he hadn't been so extravagant in the ordinary balance courtyard a few days ago, the tuition wouldn't have been a problem at all. Forget it, I can't think of a good way at the moment. Anyway, there's still a week. If there's really no way in the end, I'll just go to the ordinary balance courtyard's casino and win another 100,000. This is a small amount, so it shouldn't arouse suspicion. Tang Jing returned to the classroom. Everyone looked at him with a complicated expression. Most of them were pity and sympathy. Boss, with your level, how can you only get such a small score? There must be a problem with the grading teacher. Let's go check the papers. Feng Yong said indignantly. Feng Yong, there's no problem. I only got such a small score. Feng Yong was dumbstruck. Only after a while did he say, how is that possible? Nothing is impossible. Then what did Teacher Lu call you for? She said she wanted to tutor me? F***ck, that's too good. She's going to tutor you alone? Feng Yong's eyes lit up. He couldn't believe it and was endlessly envious. Tang Jing nodded his head and said, keep your voice down. Don't make this kind of thing public. Right, don't make it public. Feng Yong had a tacit understanding expression. Boss, I finally know why you only got such a small score. So it turns out you were planning far ahead. Did you already know that if your score was low, Teacher Lu would tutor you alone? This plan is too ingenious. How come I didn't think of it? Tang Jing was dumbstruck. He didn't think that Feng Yong would think this way. Feng Yong prostrated himself in admiration. He continued to talk non-stop. Boss, actually everyone wants to interact with Teacher Lu more. After all, she's a super beauty. Her temperament and her beauty can make people's hearts surge. Hey, this time boss, you're in luck. Feng Yong, I really didn't think that way. Tang Jing helplessly explained. Denying it is useless. Everyone is well aware of it. There's no need to explain. Feng Yong laughed. Yi Dingdang finally couldn't bear it anymore and turned her head. She coldly stared at the two and said, why are you guys' heads filled with such messy and dirty thoughts? I'm not. Tang Jing hurriedly denied. Yi Dingdang gave a "you're so gullible" expression which made Tang Jing speechless. Sister Dingdang, food and sex are part of human nature. This is human nature. Do you understand? Feng Yong said as if he didn't feel ashamed. Instead he felt proud. It's more like the nature of a pervert. After school, Tang Jing told Fang Shishir about the tutoring. Fang Shishir was very happy. Even though she knew that Tang Jing was already very strong, but with a teacher's tutoring it would be better. Only then would the college entrance exam be more secure. The school quieted down. Tang Jing stood alone in front of the school building when a mini stopped beside him. Get in. Lu Qingmei shouted. Lu Qingmei drove very quietly. She didn't like to talk, unlike Feng Xinyang who chattered non-stop. You haven't eaten dinner yet? No. What do you want to eat? Anything. I'm not picky. Buying groceries to cook is too much of a waste of time. Let's buy some fast food to bring back. Lu Qingmei stopped the car in front of a KFC and got out. Not long after, she carried a bag and walked out. Finally, the Mini stopped in the underground garage of a high-end apartment. Even though Tang Jing didn't know much about housing prices, after all, he had been in ordinary balance for so many years. He had some understanding of the ordinary balance. Lu Qingmei lived in a neighborhood that was definitely not cheap. It seemed like her family was quite good. I live alone, so my house is a bit messy. I hope you don't mind. Before entering the door, Lu Qingmei said shyly for the first time. Seeing her bashful appearance, Tang Jing couldn't help but stare blankly. In his heart he thought that she was really charming. A nice beauty occasionally revealing a bashful appearance was simply a great killer. Teacher Lu is too modest. You're so beautiful, so your house definitely won't be messy, Tang Jing said. But when the door opened, Tang Jing realized that his words were too early. Her house was really messy. However, her house was only messy and not dirty. The floor was very clean, but things were scattered everywhere, making it look very messy. Lu Qingmei embarrassedly said, "Sit down, I'll tidy up a bit." After speaking, she hurriedly tidied up. "Teacher Lu, do you need my help?" "No need. You can just sit down." Tang Jing sat on the sofa and watched her rush around the room. He couldn't help but sigh. So a woman's private space is like this. I wonder if Shishir's room is also this messy? While thinking, he sized up the room. This was a 2-bedroom apartment. The decorations were very warm and had a feminine charm. "Tang Jing, can you stand up?" Suddenly, Lu Qingmei said to Tang Jing with a red face. Her eyes were fixed on where Tang Jing was sitting. Chapter 55. The atmosphere instantly became awkward, and there was even a trace of ambiguity. Both of them were silent. This was the first time Tang Jing saw a woman's underwear at such a close distance. His face immediately turned red. The black underwear quickly enlarged and jumped into his eyes and finally jumped into his heart. Lu Qingmei wished she could find a hole to hide in. She was used to living alone, so she was used to leaving her clothes in a mess. Moreover, no one came to her house, so it wasn't a problem. However, today Tang Jing came and thus such an awkward situation occurred. Although Lu Qingmei was used to leaving her things in a mess, her memory was very good. She just finished tidying up her things and realized that she was missing a pair of underwear. Only then did she remember that she took it from the balcony and threw it on the sofa. That was why she asked Tang Jing to stand up. She didn't expect that he would really sit on it. Seeing her bewildered appearance, Tang Jing mysteriously picked up the underwear and asked, "Teacher Lu, are you looking for this?" God, he actually used his hand to pick up her underwear. That was her most private thing. Moreover, he touched the most private part of her body. She felt a strange feeling in her body. Lu Qingmei snatched the underwear and flew into the bedroom. Tang Jing could even hear her breathing become hurried. Seeing her slightly embarrassed appearance, Tang Jing couldn't help but laugh. So the ice goddess also had this side. If other people knew that I saw Teacher Lu's underwear, I wonder what they would think. However, the black underwear is really sexy. Moreover, it has lace. I wonder if she wears it. Tang Jing didn't dare to continue thinking. As a virgin, this kind of scene was too stimulating. He could already feel his body having a reaction. A small tent was set up below. Cough cough. Lu Qingmei walked out again. Her face was still a bit red. Suddenly, her gaze was fixed on Tang Jing's lower body. It was as if she was paralyzed. He actually had a reaction. Damn it. Tang Jing realized his embarrassment and hurriedly sat down, finally covering up his ugly appearance. He's still a child after all. He's young and impetuous. I'll forgive him this time. Lu Qingmei took a deep breath and tried to control herself. Let's eat first, then we'll start tutoring. Lu Qingmei's attitude was much colder. She hoped to use this coldness to cover up the awkwardness just now. Tang Jing used his inner energy to suppress his restless thoughts. The two of them had a simple dinner together and then began to make up for the missed lessons. Lu Qingmei was an English teacher. At first, Tang Jing thought that she was only good at English. But when she started tutoring, he realized that he had underestimated her. Chinese, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, she was proficient in all of them. She was even more lively and interesting than many of the teachers in this class. She must have been a top student back then, Tang Jing guessed. But why did she want to be a teacher? Logically speaking, she's so good at studying and has a good family background. She could have done other jobs. Tang Jing suppressed his curiosity. This was someone else's secret. He didn't have the right to ask. He didn't know that Lu Qingmei gradually had a lot of questions about him. Although Tang Jing tried his best to hide his strength, he couldn't completely hide it. Lu Qingmei gradually realized that he was actually very smart. He didn't look like someone who got last place in the exam at all. I heard that his memory is getting worse and he gets a headache when he thinks about problems. But why doesn't he have a headache when he's thinking about problems? Could it be, he's deliberately hiding his strength? She was shocked by her own speculation. But why would he hide his strength? Don't all students want to get good grades? She realized that she didn't know Tang Jing as well as she thought. He seemed to have a mysterious aura and a temperament. Although he had the inexperience of people his age, he had a calming feeling that made people involuntarily want to get close to him. Why do I have this kind of feeling? She was startled. Now that Tang Jing had stepped into the third grade refining qi, his entire aura had undergone an earth-shattering change. Unknowingly, he had reached a state of harmony with the world around him. This naturally affected the people around him, causing them to feel a sense of tranquility. Okay, today's tutoring will end here. Go back and properly digest what you've learned today. I'll send you back. No need. This place isn't far from my home. I can walk back myself. Okay then. Go back and rest well. After sending off Tang Jing, Lu Qingmei leaned against the door. She breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Today I was looking for trouble for myself. I hope he doesn't tell anyone about what happened today. Otherwise I'll be embarrassed. Hang if he dares to tell anyone, see how I'll deal with him. Tonight I must properly tidy up my room. In the future I can't let today's problems happen again. Otherwise my reputation will be ruined." When Tang Jing returned home, his grandfather was very happy. This was because the teacher actually gave Tang Jing tutoring. He believed that this was the teacher's love for Tang Jing. He repeatedly urged him to study hard and not let down the teacher's painstaking efforts. First grade true fire is the dividing line between ordinary fire and true fire. Only true fire can refine pills. Of course, when true fire is cultivated to a certain level, it can also be used to defend against enemies. Everyone has a fire seed in their body. However, most people don't know the method to ignite the fire seed. I will now teach you the method to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi passed on a mnemonic chant. Tang Jing silently memorized it. According to the mnemonic chant, he guided his true qi to his dantian. His dantian suddenly became warm, just like a furnace. The fire seed is hidden in your dantian. It has no shadow and is invisible to the naked eye. However, it is there. Only when you ignite the fire seed will you be able to see a small ball of flame. The true qi in his 9 major meridians gathered in his dantian. Tang Jing felt his body turn into a fireball. It was as if his body was going to burn. You have the 9 yang saint body. Your body has a lot of pure yang energy. Therefore, igniting the fire seed is a small matter. As long as you follow the mnemonic chant, there will be no problem. Tian Chanzi said. Hearing this, Tang Jing was filled with confidence. After igniting the fire seed and cultivating true fire, he would be able to refine pills. With pills, he would be able to quickly increase his cultivation. The true qi in his dantian quickly flowed and rotated. Soon it formed a true qi vortex. Your true qi is sufficient. The fire seed will be ignited soon. What's going on? Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly changed. Where is your true qi? Why did your true qi disappear? He saw the true qi vortex that was rotating at high speed disappear into thin air. It was as if it had never appeared. His dantian became empty without a trace of true qi. Tang Jing was also stunned. Didn't Tian Chanzi say that igniting the fire seed would succeed? What is going on? Where did the true qi go? Where is the fire seed? Why can't I see a trace of fire? Tian Chanzi, is this what you meant by success? Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Since he started cultivating, every time he succeeded, it was completely beyond Tian Chanzi's expectations. But this time Tian Chanzi was full of confidence, but he failed. How can this be? Igniting the fire seed isn't that difficult. How can you fail? You have the 9 yang saint body. Logically speaking, it should be easier for you to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi was also stunned and confused. The true qi in Tang Jing's body had almost disappeared, and he was not willing to fail like this, so he hurriedly urged his power, allowing the remaining true qi to enter his dantian. Shwa. The true qi was like a clay ox entering the sea, disappearing. This time even the true qi vortex did not appear. It just disappeared into thin air like a magic trick. Tian Chanzi, quickly tell me what happened to me. I don't know. You ask me, but who am I supposed to ask? No, this must be because you have the 9 yang saint body. Didn't you say that the 9 yang saint body was very awesome? How can you not do something as simple as this? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Moreover, the 9 yang saint body has many secrets, so how would I know? Let's try again tomorrow. Who knows? Tian Chanzi stammered. Tang Jing secretly sighed. It seems that there is no way to get an answer from Tian Chanzi. Let's try again tomorrow. The next day Lu Qingmei walked into the office. Her expression was normal, but her heart was apprehensive. She looked at her classmates from time to time and found that no one was looking at her strangely. Only then did she relax. It seems that Tang Jing did not tell anyone about last night's embarrassing incident. Boss, how was your time with the teacher last night? Hee. After class, Feng Yong gossiped. Nothing happened. What do you mean nothing happened? A single man and a single woman in a room. Don't tell me nothing happened? Feng Yong asked expectantly. Tang Jing subconsciously thought of the black underwear. His face was calm as he said, I say, what is your brain thinking all day? She is a teacher and I am a student. What could have happened? It's because they are teacher and student that it's exciting. Isn't it always like this in movies? Scram. I find that you are more and more like an animal. Ring ring ring. Tang Jing's cell phone rang. It turned out to be Feng Xinyang's number. He looked at Yi Dingdang in surprise and picked up the phone. Hello, Auntie. Are you looking for me? Little handsome brother, how are you recently? Not bad. Did you miss me? AI, it seems like you didn't miss me. But as long as you miss my family's ding-dang, that's enough. Feng Xinyang generously said, Little handsome brother, let me tell you a big news. What news? Come to my house for dinner tonight and I will tell you. Auntie, I have been taking remedial classes recently. I don't have time. Tang Jing could not stand her constantly trying to matchmake him and Yi Dingdang, so he tactfully refused. You are so smart. Why do you still need remedial classes? Moreover, this matter is much more important than remedial classes. Little handsome brother, you must come. And today I don't have time to pick up Dingdang. You have to escort her home. This? Chapter 56. Feng Xinyang called you? Yi Dingdang asked curiously. Obviously, she heard Feng Xinyang's voice. Yes, she asked me to go to your house for dinner. What is she up to now? She is your mother. How would I know? She also said that she won't pick you up after school and asked me to go home with you. Yi Dingdang's eyes rolled around. What was wrong with Feng Xinyang? No, she had to figure it out. She had experienced enough of her mother's whims, so she couldn't be at ease until she figured out the other party's intentions. However, when she called, Feng Xinyang directly refused to pick up. Later, when she called again, the other party directly turned off the phone. Feng Xinyang, if you dare to mess around, I will break up with you. Yi Dingdang gritted her teeth and angrily thought. Taking advantage of the break after class, Tang Jing went to the office to ask for leave from Lu Qingmei. He couldn't attend tonight's makeup class. Lu Qingmei kindly agreed. Tang Jing didn't know that last night's thrilling makeup class made Lu Qingmei's heart not completely calm down. Tang Jing's proposal was exactly what she wanted. After school, Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang took a taxi directly to Yi Dingdang's home. As soon as they entered the door, Tang Jing noticed that the atmosphere in the Ye family seemed to have changed. Yi Dingdang also noticed. She curiously looked around and finally fixed her eyes on a luxury car in the parking lot. You have guests? The two walked into the living room and Feng Xinyang hurriedly greeted them. She grabbed Tang Jing and nervously said, "Little handsome brother, there's an emergency." What emergency? Tang Jing was surprised by her appearance and had a stomach full of questions. Feng Xinyang, are you crazy again? You're the crazy one. You have no respect for your elders. I am your mother. You don't look like a mother at all. Yi Dingdang speechlessly said. Feng Xinyang didn't have time to continue bickering with Yi Dingdang and mysteriously said, "Little handsome brother, this is related to your and Dingdang's lifelong happiness. Don't you think it's an emergency?" Tang Jing found that the other party was talking more and more nonsense. He couldn't help but bitterly smile and said, "Auntie, just say it. Why did you call me here in such a hurry? Didn't I say that this is related to your and Dingdang's lifelong happiness? Someone came to our house to propose marriage." Propose? Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang coincidentally. Yes, this is a sudden attack. I also didn't expect it. But don't worry, I will definitely not agree to this matter. Ma, I am only 18 years old, what kind of marriage are you talking about? Is this something that you caused? Yi Dingdang said in a flustered and exasperated manner. Regarding Feng Xinyang's ability to cause trouble, she was extremely clear. How can you be so suspicious of your mother? I've already chosen a little handsome brother. How could I introduce you to someone else? This time the proposal was arranged by the old man. Feng Xinyang said somewhat helplessly. The fearless Feng Xinyang seemed to be in awe of this old man. Grandfather? Yi Dingdang was speechless. Feng Xinyang helplessly nodded. No, my happiness is my decision. He is my grandfather, so he can't interfere with my private matters. Yi Dingdang resolutely said, moreover, after so many years, has he ever cared about me? Now he suddenly ran out to arrange a blind date for me. Is there a grandfather like him? Feng Xinyang rubbed Yi Dingdang's head and said, Dingdang, don't worry. I will do my best to fight for you. My daughter is so beautiful and obedient. How can I let other people take advantage of her? Auntie, this has nothing to do with me, right? How can this have nothing to do with you? Dingdang is about to be snatched away by someone else. Can you just sit there and watch? I don't like what you're saying. Don't do it again. You're not allowed to say such things again. Now there is a way to resolve this situation. Do you want to hear it? Feng Xinyang asked with a smile. Tang Jing was startled. From Feng Xinyang's smiling eyes, he had a bad premonition. What way? Yi Dingdang impatiently asked. What's done cannot be undone. What do you mean? If you are already engaged, do you think the old man will still have a way to arrange a marriage proposal? Feng Xinyang mysteriously smiled. Yi Dingdang subconsciously shook her head and then blankly said, but the key point is that I am not engaged. This is our family matter. If we say there is, then there is. That's still not right. Where are you going to find someone to be engaged to me? Hey, far away on the horizon but close in front of you. Little handsome brother, don't you have a ready-made candidate? Feng Xinyang's gaze fell on Tang Jing. No. Tang Jing loudly shouted. Yi Dingdang was dumbstruck. She never thought that Feng Xinyang would want Tang Jing to be the scapegoat. No, why did he refuse so quickly? It's as if I'm ugly. She hatefully glared at Tang Jing and asked, Tang Jing, I haven't even said no. Why are you speaking so quickly? This This method is simply not feasible. I'm someone who has a girlfriend. You can break up with a girlfriend. This is an engagement. A fiancé is a level higher than a girlfriend. Feng Xinyang said. I didn't say that I was really engaged to you. It was just an act. Yi Dingdang indignantly said. But this. No buts. It's settled. Little handsome brother, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I don't mind making the act real. Feng Xinyang said with an evil smile. Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could she push her daughter away like this? Was Yi Dingdang really her biological daughter? Tang Jing, you have to agree to this matter whether you want to or not. Yi Dingdang weighed the pros and cons and decisively said. What if I don't agree? And you dare? Little handsome brother, Jianghu is in an emergency. You have to have a chivalrous spirit. Feng Xinyang said. Tang Jing shook his head. This kind of thing could only be done by this unreliable mother and daughter pair. However, just pretending to be a fiancé shouldn't be difficult. The study door suddenly opened and Yi Tianlei walked out with an old man and a young man. Nephew, although ordinary balance can't compare to Beijing, it still has its own beautiful scenery. You can play here for a few more days. Yi Tianlei said. Many thanks for uncle's concern. This time I will definitely stay for a few more days. This is also my father's intention. Dingdang, you're out of school. Quickly come and greet the guests. Yi Tianlei suddenly waved at Yi Dingdang and said. Yi Dingdang suspiciously sized up the guests. This old man and young man were definitely not ordinary people. Their temperaments were extraordinary, especially the old man who gave people a feeling of showing off. He was like an unsheathed sword, making people not dare to look at him directly. Little Tang, you also came. Come, let me introduce you to a few guests. Yi Tianlei also saw Tang Jing. His heart slightly moved and he glanced at Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang winked at him. It's them? Tang Jing didn't expect to see Song Yu and that Qin Lao at the Ye family. The one who came to propose marriage is Song Yu. Song Yu's gaze swept past Yi Dingdang's face and finally landed on Tang Jing's face. He was slightly startled and couldn't hide his surprise. Qin Lao also looked at Tang Jing in surprise. He suddenly remembered that Song Yu had said that he had a premonition that he would see Tang Jing again. He didn't expect to meet him so soon. This world was too small. But then the two immediately remembered Tang Jing's identity. He came from an ordinary family, so how could he have any relationship with the Ye family? Moreover, it seemed that they were very close. Tang Jing, we meet again. Song Yu smiled and extended his hand. Yes, this world is too small. Tang Jing said as he shook his hand. You know each other? Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang were both shocked. They were most clear about Song Yu's identity. How could Tang Jing have any relationship with him? We met a few days ago at Ordinary Balance's residence. Song Yu explained. Yi Tianlei and his wife suddenly understood. This must be Dingdang's younger sister. As expected, her beauty is unparalleled. Song Yu said to Yi Dingdang. Yi Dingdang snorted and said, Who's your younger sister? Don't call me that. Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei's face darkened as he scolded. Yi Dingdang pouted in a fit of pique. Song Yu said, Uncle, you can't blame Dingdang. I was rude. This is the first time I've met Dingdang. I really shouldn't have called her that. Dingdang, how are you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Song Yu. Our Song and Yi families have been friends for generations. You weren't in Beijing, so we haven't met before. But there will be many opportunities to meet in the future. I still don't know you. Yi Dingdang's tone was still as cold as ever. Song Yu was not angry and said in a lukewarm voice, Don't we know each other now? Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei warned. He was afraid that Yi Dingdang would throw a tantrum again. Song Yu was not like other people. If she threw a tantrum with him, the gains would not make up for the losses. Yi Tianlei looked deeply at Song Yu and couldn't help but sigh. The successor that the Song family nurtured was indeed extraordinary. Although she was only in her 20s, her calm personality was not something that an ordinary person could compare to. With this kind of successor, the Song family would not have to worry about continuing to prosper. No wonder the old man arranged this marriage. Yi Tianlei knew that the old man's health was not what it used to be. He must find a strong ally for the Ye family. Marriage was undoubtedly a powerful method. But when Yi Tianlei saw Tang Jing, he suddenly realized that his wife was using her actions to express her opposition. She did not approve of this marriage. Although Tang Jing is a variable, if the old man is determined to settle this marriage, what other people can do to resist? Yi Tianlei thought helplessly. As a member of the Ye family, he was very clear about the old man's temper and strength. No one in the Ye family could resist the old man. Dad, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to my room with Tang Jing first. Yi Dingdang suddenly intimately held onto Tang Jing's arm like a couple glued to each other. You. Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide. It seemed that things were more complicated than he thought. Chapter 57. Feng Xinyang stood in front of Tang Jing, blocking his gaze that was as sharp as a sword. Qin Lao was slightly startled and anger appeared between his brows. Song Yu smiled lightly and asked, Tang Jing, are you friends with Dingdang? He is my fiancé. Yi Dingdang raised her head as if to declare her sovereignty. Tang Jing smiled bitterly to himself. Yi Dingdang had entered the role too quickly. He was definitely going to be the shield, but he didn't dislike it. He had a good relationship with the Ye family. Moreover, he didn't have a good impression of this kind of matchmaking. He didn't mind helping Yi Dingdang this once. However, he admired Song Yu's reaction. Even a blind person could see that he had a good relationship with Yi Dingdang, but Song Yu asked if they were friends. Yi Dingdang was also domineering. She directly lied and said that Tang Jing was her fiancé. In an instant, the hall was so silent that you could hear a pin drop. The atmosphere became subtle. Even Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide in shock. Obviously, he didn't expect Yi Dingdang to be so fierce. He looked at his wife again and saw a faint smile on her face. He suddenly understood. All of this must be his wife's idea. His wife never acted according to common sense. Only she would dare to do such a shocking thing to go against the will of the old man. This is going to be troublesome. Yi Tianlei was stuck in a dilemma. Fiancé? Song Yu looked at Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang with a smile that wasn't a smile. Yi Dingdang hugged Tang Jing's arm even tighter. It was as if she was afraid that Song Yu would notice something. Tang Jing felt the softness on his arm and couldn't help but glance at her chest. In order to complete the scene, she didn't expect that the two of them would have such intimate physical contact. Tang Jing, you're so lucky to have such a beautiful fiancé. Song Yu's voice was a little ethereal, so no one could tell what he was feeling. Tang Jing knew that he couldn't back down now. Since the fake show had already started, he had to act according to the script. Moreover, he had to act more realistically. Therefore, Tang Jing nodded politely and said, Thank you. My luck has always been good. How dare you? Suddenly, Qin Lao couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted loudly. His voice was like a great bell and the entire hall was filled with this voice. It was like the rumbling of thunder causing people to feel dizzy. Yi Tianlei's expression changed slightly. Qin Lao. Qin Lao coldly snorted. His gaze was like a sword as he looked at Tang Jing. However, his gaze was blocked by Feng Xinyang. Song Yu was separated by Feng Xinyang so she couldn't clearly see Tang Jing's reaction. However, an ordinary person would definitely be shaken by this lion's roar. In serious cases, they might even suffer internal injuries. Tang Jing naturally wasn't injured. Firstly, Feng Xinyang had neutralized most of the lion's roar's power. Secondly, he had the ancient clear heaven scroll to protect his body. Tang Jing, we finally meet again. Why don't we have a good chat? I believe we will have a lot to talk about. Song Yu continued. We're tired. We'll go back to our rooms first. How could Yi Dingdang allow them to be alone? What if Tang Jing exposed themselves? So, without any explanation, she pulled Tang Jing into her room. Yi Tianlei couldn't help but secretly shake his head. How did things become like this? He was the only one who could clean up this mess. He forced out a smile and said, Nephew, Dingdang is too headstrong. Please don't take offense. Song Yu smiled and shook her head. Dingdang is still young. It's normal for her to be headstrong. Who doesn't have headstrong moments? Uncle, what do you think? When Yi Tianlei heard this, he didn't know what to say. Yi Tianlei, what is going on? Qin Lao couldn't help but ask. This. Before Yi Tianlei could think of an explanation, Song Yu spoke first. Uncle, we have just arrived. Can we stay in Uncle's house for a few days? This, of course you can. Yi Tianlei hesitated for a moment before agreeing. This was a reasonable request. If he didn't agree, then he would be too unreasonable. Feng Xinyang's gaze changed slightly. She looked at Song Yu thoughtfully. Yi Tianlei ordered people to bring Song Yu and Qin Lao away to rest. Feng Xinyang, you're too daring. Look at what you've done this time. How are you going to clean up this mess? Yi Tianlei said angrily. I've always been daring. Didn't you know that when you chased me that year? Moreover, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. This is a natural development. Naturally there will be an outcome. Why would I need to spend energy thinking about how to clean up this mess? Feng Xinyang said without a care. Yi Tianlei shook his head and smiled bitterly. How could it be as simple as you think? How are we going to get past the old man? What about the Song family's face? What does the Song family's face have to do with me? I'm not part of the Song family. As for the old man, he didn't care about us before, but now he's using my daughter's happiness as a bargaining chip in exchange for the family's benefits. Don't say any more. Yi Tianlei's face sank. The old man is the head of the Ye family after all. He's my father. Naturally he has a lot of things to consider. Yes, he does have a lot of things to consider. When you were forced to leave Jing City, did he consider that he was your father? You know how helpless we were back then. Moreover, he didn't even look at Ding Dang. Now he's going to marry her to someone else. Has he considered our feelings? Has he considered Ding Dong's feelings? Feng Xinyang argued. Yi Tianlei was speechless. He let out a long sigh and said, he doesn't have much time left, so he has no choice but to make these arrangements. What, he doesn't have much time left? Isn't he about to break through to the martial scholar realm? Feng Xinyang turned pale with fright. Yi Tianlei shook his head and said, his last attempt to break through to the martial scholar realm failed and he almost went crazy. That's why he doesn't have much time left. AI, of all the major families in Jing City, only the Ye family doesn't have a martial scholar expert. If the old man isn't here, then the Ye family? Feng Xinyang didn't continue, but her meaning was clear. Yi Tianlei nodded and said, that's right. That's why the old man chose to marry the Song family, who has always had a good relationship with him. The Ye family doesn't only have Ding Dang as a girl. Isn't there also your elder brother's daughter? You also know that her reputation in Jing City has always been bad. How could the old man let her marry the Song family? Wouldn't that be the opposite of what he wanted? But I heard that the girl was very willing. She even made a big fuss several times because of this matter, but the old man never agreed. In any case, I won't agree to this matter. No matter who it is, I won't give face to. My daughter's happiness is in her own hands. Feng Xinyang still refused to budge an inch. Things have already become like this. How could I not know what you're thinking? But I don't know how to explain it to the old man. Back then, because you were injured and your meridians were blocked, you were judged to be unable to reach the Xiantian realm. Then you were forced to leave Jing City. A while ago, we thought that since you had already broken through to the Xiantian realm, you could return to Jing City. After all, this was your long-cherished wish. But today, with this matter, I have completely lost interest in returning to Jing City. I feel that ordinary balance is also not bad. In the future, you can peacefully develop an ordinary balance. Yi Tianlei was silent and said, let's first get through this hurdle. In fact, all of this is because the old man doesn't have much time left. If the old man can persist for a few more years, then all of this will be easily resolved. Defying the heavens and changing one's fate. I've heard of this kind of thing, but where can I find someone with this kind of divine ability? Feng Xinyang said with emotion. Song Yu stood up, quietly looking out the window at the tranquil beauty of the Ye family manor under the setting sun. Qin Lao stood behind him and asked puzzledly, young master, why did you stop me from questioning Yi Tianlei just now? Song Yu didn't even turn his head and said, Qin Lao, some things will become passive if they are exposed, do you understand? What do you mean? This old man doesn't understand. Haha, when Ding Dang introduced Tang Zheng as her fiancé, didn't you see Uncle Ye's expression? What expression did he have? Shocked. Qin Lao's heart trembled and he said, young master, you're saying that he also doesn't know about this matter, so, this is all fake. Most likely. So if we were to insist on pursuing this matter, it would force the other party to confirm this fake marriage and we would become passive. Right now, let's not talk about this matter and stay with the Ye family for a few days. They will naturally reveal some clues and everything will fall apart. Young master is still the most thoughtful, this old man was stupid. Qin Lao said with admiration. Song Yu faintly smiled, haha, actually many things will be completely different if you take a step forward. Moreover, Tang Zheng is a child of an ordinary family, how could he be related to the Ye family by marriage? But my eyes were not wrong, he is indeed not simple. Perhaps we have seen too much of him on the surface, he must have many things that we don't know about. Young master, do you still need me to investigate him? Song Yu waved his hand and said, no need, since he doesn't want others to know, then he naturally has the corresponding methods. Continuing to investigate will only lead to more false impressions. I trust my own eyes more. As he said this, he pointed to his own eyes, bursting with strong confidence. In Yi Dingdong's boudoir, Tang Jing couldn't help but look around. Her room was very neat and tidy without a speck of dust. Presumably there was someone who tidied and cleaned it every day. The style of the room was more robust than a normal girl's room, especially the words hanging at the head of the bed. It was a large-framed martial character, showing her infatuation with martial arts. "You like martial arts that much?" Tang Jing asked. "Nonsense, of course I like it, my dream is to become a martial scholar." Yi Dingdong's eyes lit up as if she could see herself becoming a martial scholar. "Then you still have a long way to go." "I believe that I can definitely do it," she said confidently. "Ding Dang, this time you may not succeed in using me as a shield. That Song Yu is very smart, we may not be able to deceive him. Moreover, he is a very handsome guy, at least much more handsome than me. Have you not considered it?" "Consider your ass, no matter how handsome he is, I will not consider it. I hate it the most when other people tell me what to do with my life. I have to make my own decisions, not to mention when it comes to marriage, I will not listen to anyone." Chapter 58. Tang Jing stayed with the Ye family. At the dining table, Yi Dingdang deliberately sat next to him and filled his bowl with rice and dishes. She looked like an inseparable little girl. Song Yu talked and laughed freely as if she didn't see it, or as if he wasn't there to propose at all. Qin Lao, on the other hand, had a gloomy face as usual. He glanced at Tang Jing from time to time as if he wanted to skin him alive. Tang Jing looked down and ate quietly. However, he was a little overwhelmed by Yi Dingdong's enthusiasm. There was a saying that it was difficult to erase a beauty's favor. It was indeed not a good thing to have such a grand favor from a beauty. Tang Jing had to admit that this was the most boring meal he had ever eaten. Although there were all kinds of delicacies, the atmosphere at the dining table was too strange. It was tasteless. "We're done eating. Let's go back to our room." Yi Dingdang pulled Tang Jing's hand again and ran to their room. Before entering the door, she said, "We're going to rest first." Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang already knew that Tang Jing was going to stay over tonight, so they even prepared a room for him. When he suddenly heard Yi Dingdong's last sentence, Yi Tianlei was so shocked that he almost spat out the food in his mouth. Could it be that they were really going to make the act real and let Tang Jing take advantage of it? Feng Xinyang's eyes lit up. She smiled and secretly praised, "This wretched girl is finally enlightened. She has to make the first move on such a good resource like the little handsome guy. This is really thanks to my good genes. Tonight, what's done can't be undone. I have to remind them to take safety precautions later." The other two's expressions were also particularly interesting. The veins on Qin Lao's forehead were throbbing. His face was as gloomy as the night outside, as if he could explode at any time. However, Song Yu only twitched the corner of her mouth and didn't have any other reaction. Qin Lao could only restrain himself and take a big gulp of tea to suppress the anger in his heart. In the bedroom, Tang Jing stared straight at Yi Dingdang and asked, "Are we sleeping in the same room tonight?" "Of course. That's the only way to convince them and make them give up." Yi Dingdang clenched her snow-white teeth, seemingly ready to throw caution to the wind. "But we're a man and a woman alone in a room? Don't think too much. Let me tell you, you'll sleep on the floor and I'll sleep on the bed. If you dare to mess around, Humph, be careful that I'll castrate you." Yi Dingdang waved her fist and threatened. "You're no match for me. Your threats are useless." Tang Jing smirked. "This is my home. If you dare to do anything bad to me, my parents won't let you get away with it." Yi Dingdang bit her lip. She didn't know whether it was good or bad that she had invited a wolf into her house. "Hee hee, you were the one who took the initiative to pull me in. I believe that they have also tacitly agreed." "You don't even think about it. You can't take advantage of others." "Okay, then I won't take advantage of others. But I have to sleep on the bed and you sleep on the floor." "How can that be? Don't you have any gentlemanly spirit?" "I never said that I was a gentleman," Tang Jing roguishly said. "I didn't think that you were this kind of person. Okay, I promise you. You sleep on the bed and I sleep on the floor." Tang Jing was slightly startled as he didn't think that she would compromise so easily. He originally only wanted to tease her and didn't really want her to sleep on the floor. But now it was hard for him to say anything. It seems that I can only wrong her for one night." Yi Dingdang bitterly glared at him and muttered, "Stingy bastard. You're not a man at all." Tang Jing sat on the bed. A faint fragrance entered his nose and he couldn't help but feel restless. This was a girl's bed. This was his first time on a girl's bed. Moreover, this bed was very soft. It was much more comfortable than his wooden bed. Hey, what are you thinking about? Nothing much. I'm warning you. You're not allowed to think nonsense. I'm going to read for a while. Don't run around. She finished speaking and went to her desk to read. Tang Jing was bored to death. He simply closed his eyes. In a strange environment with outsiders around, he didn't dare to rashly cultivate. Otherwise, if he was disturbed, he might go crazy. He closed his eyes to rest. He began to recall the knowledge that he had learned in the past 10 years. He found that his thoughts were becoming clearer and clearer. Moreover, his logic was becoming stronger and stronger. A lot of knowledge that seemed difficult to understand in the past could now be understood through a comprehensive study. This is the benefit of cultivation. Not only is the body tempered stronger, but the brain is also deeply developed. The increase in intelligence is obvious. Little brat, a man and a woman alone in a room. This is a great opportunity. Don't waste it. Tian Chanzi was like a ghost, suddenly bursting out a sentence. Damn, if you don't speak, I won't treat you as a mute. You've always claimed to be a righteous person. Why do I feel that you're becoming more and more evil? Aren't I thinking for your sake? Well, I'm going to find a way to make you unable to speak. Otherwise, if you suddenly burst out a sentence, you'll scare me to death. Hey, when you're strong enough, you can naturally block me. But you're still too weak to do it. Oh, then what realm do I need to reach to be able to do it? Tang Jing's heart moved. You heard wrong. I won't speak. Tian Chanzi suddenly realized that she had spilled the beans, and immediately became silent. Tang Jing was speechless, but this reminded him that although he was now used to the existence of Tian Chanzi, if there were some private moments in the future, he didn't want to share with others. Well, I must find a way. Little brat, you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. That's not good enough. Tian Chanzi said. How is this burning the bridge after crossing the river? This is to protect my privacy, you know? It doesn't matter if you don't say it, I'll definitely know. Okay, I'll tell you. As long as you reach the 4th grade refining chi, you can learn sealing techniques. At that time, you can temporarily seal my thoughts. Tian Chanzi helplessly said. Why do I have to be at the 4th grade refining chi to learn sealing techniques? Why can't I learn it now? Tang Jing said in disbelief. I'm really not lying to you. Do you think sealing techniques are that simple? Sealing techniques can not only seal me but can also seal a living person, making them unable to speak, or even seal a person's consciousness. Isn't that the same as turning people into wood? In any case, the sealed person is almost the same as a piece of wood. But this also has a time limit. If one's skills are strong enough, they can be sealed for hundreds of years. Dong dong. A knock on the door interrupted the conversation. Feng Xinyang, why are you here? Yi Dingdang opened the door and asked sneakily. Of course I'm here to see you. Daughter, this time you've become smarter. But let me tell you, tonight you must pay attention to your safety. Young people should take it easy. These things are quite useful. Feng Xinyang said mysteriously as she handed over a box of Durex. Feng Xinyang, are you looking for death? Why are you giving me these things? Yi Dingdang's face immediately turned red like an apple, as if she was about to go berserk. Young people really don't understand. This is a safety measure, you know? Quickly take it. There's also Tang Zheng's pajamas. I just had someone go buy it. Just wear it, I won't disturb your good time. Hey daughter, good luck. Feng Xinyang winked meaningfully and then quickly walked away. Yi Dingdang didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she took Tang Zheng's pajamas and a box of Durex. She already didn't know what to say. What's your mom doing here? Suddenly, Tang Jing asked from behind him. She's here to give you pajamas. Auntie is really thoughtful. Give it to me. Tang Jing took the pajamas. Suddenly, a box of strange things fell to the ground, immediately attracting Tang Jing's attention. Durex. Tang Jing immediately recognized it. Yi Dingdang also saw the Durex and immediately realized that it fell when she handed him the pajamas. At this time, she wished she could find a hole to hide in. Feng Xinyang, I'm going to kill you. She hysterically roared in her heart. Then, with lightning speed, she stepped on the Durex and stammered, You go take a bath and rest. Tang Jing gave a meaningful smile and went to the bathroom with the pajamas. That smile made Yi Dingdang feel ashamed. He wouldn't think that I have ulterior motives towards him, right? How could that be? In all honesty, all of this was done by Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang, under the heavens, is there anyone who would cheat their own daughter like you? Am I still your biological daughter? She wanted to cry but had no tears. Fortunately, Tang Jing went into the bathroom. He quickly picked up the flattened Durex and, like a dead mouse, impatiently threw it into the trash can. Tonight I must not sleep too soundly. I must be on guard against him. If he really dares to have any bad intentions, humph, I'll castrate him. Hearing the sound of water coming from the bathroom, she immediately realized that he was the first man to use her bathroom. She could not help but hatefully stomp her feet. He really got off easy. Forget it, this is just a temporary measure. First I'll trick that surnamed Song into leaving and then I'll deal with him. The pajamas your mom sent over are quite fitting. Tang Jing finished washing up and walked out. Yi Dingdang glared at him and said, I'm going to take a bath. You're not allowed to peek. Please, who would peek at you? I was just afraid that you would peek at me. Only a ghost would peek at you. Since you're afraid of peeking, then you don't have to take a bath. After all, you're sleeping on the floor. Tang Jing shrugged and suggested, this is my home. If I want to take a bath, then I'll take a bath. It's none of your business. Yi Dingdang was raised to take a bath before going to bed. If she did not take a bath, she would not be able to sleep. She carefully entered the bathroom and hurriedly took off her clothes. Looking at her exquisite body in the mirror, she couldn't help but secretly exclaim, my body is so beautiful, I must protect it well. I absolutely can't let him take advantage of me. Her body was indeed beautiful. Moreover, it was a very healthy kind of beauty. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child. Her body was well proportioned and tight. Moreover, there was a vest line. Her body was better than many girls who worked out in the gym. She did not dare to take a long bath like usual. She hurriedly took a bath and then put on her pajamas. Moreover, she specifically wore pajama pants. After making sure that she was not exposed, she walked out of the bathroom. She found that Tang Jing was already lying on the bed. That look of enjoyment made her want to drag him down and beat him up. Suppressing the anger in her heart, she took out another set of quilts and threw them on the ground. Then she wrapped herself up like a dumpling. She kept telling herself not to sleep too deeply. Sleepiness came, and in the end she still fell asleep. Chapter 59. It was daybreak. Tang Jing woke up. Why was there something heavy on his body? He opened his eyes in a daze and saw the white ceiling. Only then did he remember that he was not in his own house, but Yi Dingdang's bedroom. No, Yi Dingdang. He stared at the heavy object on his body. It was a person, Yi Dingdang. Half of her body was on top of him, and her hands were hugging his waist as if she was hugging a stuffed animal. Her head was leaning on his shoulder. Tang Jing turned his head slightly and saw her beautiful face. There was a trace of laziness and a lock of hair covering her white face, making her look a little playful. Tang Jing could even feel her gentle breathing. It was warm and ticklish on his neck. She is so beautiful. Tang Jing let out a silent praise. She was a perfect sleeping beauty, causing others to want to commit a crime. Half of her body was on top of him, and her chest was in intimate contact with Tang Jing. His breathing quickened involuntarily and his body felt like it was going to burn. Suddenly she made a sound and smacked her cherry lips. She opened her sleepy eyes. Suddenly her eyes widened and she stared straight at Tang Jing. Ah, she screamed. Tang Jing reacted quickly and covered her mouth when she only shouted the first syllable. Don't scream. Wu, Yi Dingdang kept struggling. Her eyes were about to spit fire. If you promise me you won't scream, I'll let go, Tang Jing said. Wu, she was still glaring at him fiercely. Her eyes looked like she wanted to eat him alive. I'll take that as a promise. If I let go, you'll shout and attract other people. You'll be the one to make a fool of yourself. This sentence was indeed effective. Tang Jing loosened his grip. Yi Dingdang took a deep breath and shouted angrily, You beast! He used grappling hand to restrain Tang Jing. Tang Jing had long anticipated that she would make a move, so he counterattacked at lightning speed. The two of them wrestled together and were tossed around by the waves. Sometimes they would be on top of each other, and sometimes they would be on top of each other. In the end, the two of them were twisted together like fried dough twists. Yi Dingdang was strangling Tang Jing's neck, while Tang Jing was grabbing Yi Dingdang's head. Let go, Yi Dingdang said fiercely. Put it down first, Tang Jing replied. You put it down first. If you release it, I'll release it. Beast, I'll kill you. What right do you have to scold me? You did that to me. If you're not a beast, then what are you? What did I do to you? Speak clearly. Moreover, look clearly. This is a bed. I was the one who slept in the bed last night. It was clearly you who climbed into my bed in the middle of the night and plotted against me, Tang Jing said. Yi Dingdang suddenly remembered that she had woken up on the bed. Moreover, she had done such intimate actions with him. Could it be that she really did climb into his bed in the middle of the night? No, even if I did it, I can't admit it. Otherwise, I would die of embarrassment. Does waking up on the bed prove that you didn't do anything bad? Maybe you took advantage of me being asleep and carried me to the bed, and then plotted against me. Yi Dingdang righteously said. Tang Jing was dumbstruck. There was actually such a twisted logic person in this world. And you have nothing to say. Yi Dingdang was very pleased with herself. Suddenly, her eyebrows knit together and she suspiciously asked, "What are you pointing at me with? You even brought a weapon?" Tang Jing was ashamed. It was early in the morning and he was already in high spirits. After wrestling, the two people's bodies inevitably came into contact with each other, so his body reacted. Yi Dingdang wasn't an idiot. After a while she realized what it was. She was both ashamed and angry. "Tang Jing, you beast. I'm going to kill you. Hurry and let go of me." Tang Jing knew that if this continued, it would only become more and more awkward. He quickly let go of his hand and slid off the bed like a loach, retreating 3 steps back. Yi Dingdang jumped up and like a white crane flapping its wings, she threw herself at him. Tang Jing's feet slipped, avoiding direct contact with her. Suddenly the room was filled with a dangerous aura. Dong dong. Feng Xinyang knocked on the door. "Wake up. Eat breakfast and go to school." The two people's movements suddenly stopped. "Hurry and open the door. Don't laze around in bed." "Mom, stop knocking. We're already up." "If you're up, then open the door for me," Feng Xinyang said without giving up. Yi Dingdang was helpless. She could only open the door a crack and said, "See, we're really up." Feng Xinyang peeked through the crack in the door and coincidentally saw the messy bed. She immediately understood and smiled. In a low voice she said, "AI, you young people don't know how to control yourselves. The bed is so messy it will take a long time to clean it up." Yi Dingdang's face was red to the neck. She angrily said, "Feng Xinyang, no one will think you're a mute if you don't talk." She slammed the door. "Tang Jing, it's all your fault." "How is it my fault? It was clearly you who wanted me to act out this show. You even wanted me to stay in the same room as you. Now you're saying it's my fault. You're too unreasonable," Tang Jing said unhappily. "Tang Jing, you're not allowed to tell anyone about what happened last night. Otherwise I'll really kill you." "Don't worry. I won't tell anyone that someone climbed into my bed last night. In the end they even framed me." Yi Dingdang angrily stomped her feet. The two people finished washing up, changed their clothes and walked out of the room. Breakfast was already prepared. It was still early and the others were not up yet. After eating breakfast, Feng Xinyang sent the two to school. Along the way, Feng Xinyang smiled very strangely. From time to time, she meaningfully looked at the two people. She thought that it was good to be young. After a night of torment, they were still energetic during the day. "Little handsome brother, come to our house for dinner tonight," Feng Xinyang invited when they got out of the car. "No, he can't come tonight," Yi Dingdang hurriedly said. "Why?" "He has something to do." Yi Dingdang did not want to face Tang Jing again tonight. Who knows what will happen? That would be too easy for him. Tang Jing also did not want to continue. Acting was too tiring. "Yes, auntie. I have something to do tonight. I can't go." "Oh, that's a pity." Feng Xinyang regretfully watched the two people walk into the school. No one noticed that someone in the distance was recording this scene with a mobile phone. Today in class, Yi Dingdang was absent-minded. Her mind kept recalling what happened between the two of them last night. "He got off too easy. I have to be more careful in the future. Now there are wolves in front and tigers behind. Heavens, why is my Yi Dingdang life so hard?" While she was feeling sorry for herself, Tang Jing discovered an amazing harvest. The true qi in his body increased a lot. But he did not practice martial arts last night. That could only be because he absorbed purine energy. Last night, he and Yi Dingdang had close physical contact for almost the entire night. He continuously absorbed purine energy, so his true qi increased so quickly. "Boy, now you know that I didn't lie to you. As long as you get a woman, your martial arts will advance by leaps and bounds." Tian Chanzi jumped out again. Tang Jing really wanted to give him a supercilious look. He continued to listen to the class attentively. Although he was confident in the exam, he could not let his guard down. After all, he had a bet with the old witch. If he could not get first place in the school, then the old witch would not honor the bet. After school, Feng Shishir and Tang Jing walked down the school building together. They were whispering to each other. Every time at this time, Tang Jing would feel particularly peaceful. Tang Jing, I want to find an opportunity to invite you to my house for dinner. Is that okay? Fang Shishir asked. Go to your house for dinner? Tang Jing was surprised. Yes, I know that there is a misunderstanding between you and my mother, so I want to resolve this misunderstanding. Fang Shishir said in a delicate and pitiful voice. Tang Jing could not help but think of her mother's words. Looking at her delicate and pitiful appearance, he thought that if he wanted to stand together with her, he would have to go through her mother. It would be best if he could resolve the misunderstanding. No problem, you can set a time and let me know. I will definitely pay you a visit. Fang Shishir smiled like a flower and said, You are so nice. I thought you would object. Am I such a petty person? Of course not. You are the most selfless person in the world. Haha, I am not that great. It is just that if you ask me to do something, even if it means climbing a mountain of swords or diving into a sea of fire, I will do my best to do it. Fang Shishir's heart was filled with sweetness. Her face was filled with a happy smile. Beep beep. A car horn sounded behind Tang Jing. Lu Qingmei poked her head out of the window and signaled Tang Jing to get in the car. Then I will go to make up for my lessons. See you tomorrow. Okay, good luck. See you tomorrow. Tang Jing got in the car. Lu Qingmei glanced at Fang Shishir, who was like a lotus in clear water, and coldly said, I do not object to you two dating, but you must put your studies first. Do you understand? Teacher Lu, I understand. It is good that you understand. In the future, if there is nothing special, it is best if you do not miss my lessons. Yes. How is your preparation for school fees coming along? I am still preparing. The whole journey was silent. On the way back, the two bought dinner and then returned home. This time, her house was meticulously cleaned. It was clearly a lot more tidy than the first time. You should rest first. Lu Qingmei entered the bedroom. Not long after, she changed into a set of loose home clothes. It covered her graceful figure and made her seem more approachable. After the two ate dinner, they began to make up for their lessons. After the first run-in, this time it was even smoother. Even though Tang Jing had already recovered his strength, he still benefited a lot. Tang Jing, why are your test results so bad? Suddenly, Lu Qingmei stared straight at him. Her eyes seemed to see through his heart. I also do not know. Tang Jing did not expect her to be so direct. It seems that he was not able to hide his strength from her eyes. Nervous? Tang Jing bitterly smiled and said, Maybe. No, I think you are not nervous at all. Lu Qingmei still remembered his appearance at the police station. He was calm and composed, without a trace of nervousness. How could a person who was not nervous in front of a violent mechanism be nervous in an exam field? Your ability to lie is not good at all. Lu Qingmei coldly said. Chapter 60. Fang Shishir watched as Lu Qingmei's mini drove off into the distance. Just as she was about to walk towards the school gate, she heard someone call her name. Qiao Fei, you called for me? Fang Shishir looked at Qiao Fei, who was hurrying over, and asked. Qiao Fei pretended to be calm and said, Yes, I have something to talk to you about. What is it? Let's talk over there. Qiao Fei said as he pointed towards the school gate. Fang Shishir did not suspect anything as she followed him and said, Speak, what is it? Qiao Fei had targeted Tang Jing before, so Fang Shishir did not have a good impression of him. Do you know where Tang Jing spent the night last night? Qiao Fei asked. Of course it's his home. Home? He told you. If you don't have anything else, then I'll go home first. Fang Shishir did not want to say more. You were tricked by him. He didn't go home last night. He went to Yi Dingdong's house and stayed there the entire night. Seeing that Fang Shishir was about to leave, Qiao Fei impatiently said as he felt a sense of satisfaction from his revenge. Fang Shishir's face instantly changed as she said, Don't talk nonsense. Ah, how could I talk nonsense? I have evidence. Qiao Fei opened the photo on his phone. It recorded that yesterday Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang left together in a car. This morning the two came to school in the same car and acted intimately. Fang Shishir stared at the photo in a daze, her heart in a mess. Could it be that he really went to Yi Dingdong's house to spend the night? Why didn't he tell me? Just what did they do? Most women, when faced with this kind of situation, would inevitably let their imagination run wild and be at a loss for what to do. Fang Shishir, you are wholeheartedly loyal to him. He is lying to you. This kind of person is a big liar. Don't ever trust him again. Xiao Fei saw that the time was right and immediately tried to drive a wedge between them. Fang Shishir looked up at him and said, Xiao Fei, this is between me and him. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. Why don't you understand? He is not worthy of you. Moreover, he is multitasking. Shishir, you know that I have always liked you. Shut up. Don't say any more. I don't like you and I won't be with you. Please don't say such things in the future. I'm going home. Fang Shishir felt as if a knife was being twisted in her heart. She turned around and left. She wanted to ask Tang Jing what was going on. Did he really lie to her? Was this all an illusion? Before she could take 2 steps, her mouth was covered by someone. Her body was soft as if she had no strength. Her head was heavy as if she had dozed off. She lost to lose consciousness to sleep too. Seeing her fall, Xiao Fei hugged her. His lips curved into a devious smile as he muttered, Shishir, this is all because of you. I pursued you bitterly but you chose Tang Jing. If I didn't make a move, then that poor bastard Tang Jing would have taken advantage of me. I will never let that happen. Looking at Fang Shishir's beautiful face, his eyes lit up. Tonight you are mine. Don't ever think of leaving me again. Xiao Fei was confident that as long as he obtained the woman's body, he would have thousands of ways to make her unable to leave him. He supported Fang Shishir, and like an intimate couple, they quickly walked out of the side door and got into the car that had been prepared long ago. The car went straight to the 5-star hotel. Xiao Fei familiarly went up the stairs and entered the room that was already prepared. Looking at Fang Shishir who was quietly lying on the bed, she was like a sleeping beauty. He swallowed his saliva and became restless. Where is this? Suddenly, Fang Shishir opened her eyes and unconsciously asked. Suddenly she saw Xiao Fei and the surrounding environment. Her face greatly changed as she exclaimed, Xiao Fei, what are you doing? I hate a single man and a single woman. What do you think I am doing? Xiao Fei, we are classmates. Don't be like this. This is against the law. Do you know that? Fang Shishir's heart was in a mess. How could she not understand what Xiao Fei wanted to do? She never would have thought that Xiao Fei was this kind of person. It's against the law. My family has money. The law has no effect on rich people. The law will only punish poor bastards like Tang Jing. You did something bad. My family will not let you off. Hey, maybe after we get together your family will be even happier. Our 2 families will be united by marriage. This will be a good story for both our families. No, I don't like you. I will not let you succeed. Fang Shishir bit her lips and resolutely said. Xiao Fei laughed, this is not up to you. Right now I have the final say. Do you think you can still resist? Fang Shishir struggled to stand up but found that her whole body was sore and weak. What did you do to me? Just a little trick. This will make the game more interesting. Moreover, I dare to guarantee that after you experience my good side, you will definitely not leave me again. You're dreaming. No, what I said is the truth and not a dream. Because in a moment I will record your moving side. This kind of moving and beautiful side should be kept as a memento. But if you leave me in the future, these beautiful things will spread throughout the world. Shameless. Fang Shishir's whole body was ice cold. Xiao Fei actually wanted to record a dirty video to threaten her. How could he be so perverted and so despicable? How could she not have noticed before? If she let him succeed, then her whole life would be ruined. How would she have the face to see Tang Jing? This was the first time in her life that she felt such despair. Tang Jing, where are you? Quickly come and save me. She cried out in her heart, but she knew that Tang Jing should be tutoring right now. How could he appear here? He was not a god and did not have divine schemes. Xiao Fei, I beg you, let me go. I don't like you. A forced melon is not sweet. Fang Shishir was about to cry as she begged. Hang, now you know to beg me? It's too late. I used to be so good to you but you turned a blind eye and chose that poor bastard Tang Jing. You have broken my heart. Tonight no one can save you. From now on you are mine. Haha, in a moment I will be a bit more gentle and let you know what it's like to be a man. These unbearable words made Fang Shishir's face and ears turn red. She was angry and scared. Her whole body trembled as she said, Xiao Fei, even if you obtain my body, you will not obtain my heart. Moreover, I will not let you go. Her body was soft and she did not have the ability to resist. Tonight she suffered under his evil hands. She would not have the face to see Tang Jing and could only leave this world forever. But even if she became a ghost, she would not let Xiao Fei go. Seeing the hatred and determination in her eyes, Xiao Fei felt as if his heart had been ruthlessly stabbed. A wave of unwillingness and anger rushed to his heart as he hysterically roared, "Even if I can't obtain your heart, I will obtain your body. Bitch, are you still thinking about Tang Jing? Let me tell you, not only will I obtain you, I will watch as his woman is taken away from him. I will make him suffer so much that he will wish he was dead." "You pervert. Ah, you dare to call me a pervert? I'll show you how perverted I am." Xiao Fei's anger rose from his heart as he sent a slap towards Fang Shishir. Fang Shishir was unable to dodge, but she did not close her eyes in fear. Instead, she opened her eyes wide. In her eyes, besides anger, there was also contempt and unyielding. A muffled sound rang out. Fang Shishir did not feel any pain, but she felt a hot air coming from her chest. Then Xiao Fei flew out and heavily hit the wall. He fainted like a dead fish. "Oh, what is going on?" Fang Shishir was dumbstruck. With her knowledge, she could not understand what was going on. There was no third party in the room, so how could he fly out? Seeing him faint, she finally let out a sigh of relief. She only wanted to quickly escape this devil's den, but she found that her body was still weak. "No, I must leave here. Otherwise, when he wakes up, I will not be able to escape." She used all her strength to reach into her pocket for her phone only to find that it was gone. Xiao Fei must have taken it away. "What should I do? What should I do? I can't walk. I must call someone to come to the hotel and save me." Suddenly, her eyes fell on the phone at the head of the bed. "Right, use this phone." She stretched out her hand with difficulty and a number immediately jumped into her mind. She did not even think about it and directly dialed the number. At this time, the first person she thought of was not her family but Tang Zheng. It seems that she subconsciously believed that Tang Zheng could save her. "Sorry, the number you have dialed is currently busy." The line was busy. Fang Shishir was close to despair. Just as she was about to call her family, her hand suddenly froze. Because Xiao Fei woke up. F***ck, it hurts so much. Suddenly Xiao Fei loudly shouted. She hopelessly looked at Xiao Fei, who had already stood up. Xiao Fei shook his head and blankly looked around. He did not find a third party and Fang Shishir was still lying on the bed. What is going on? Am I hallucinating? No, how could this be an illusion? He clearly remembered that he was sent flying by a strong force and then lost consciousness. Evil F***ck, I don't believe that even the heavens cannot stop me from getting her. He had already been completely blinded by anger and desire. Fang Shishir, tonight you are mine. He laughed nastily and once again threw himself at Fang Shishir. The innate qi in Tang Zheng's body began to violently vibrate, and he immediately realized that something was wrong. This was not his own problem, but someone else's problem. The Imperial Spirit Array had been activated, and he had a kind of telepathy with the array. But he was unable to determine who was in danger. He immediately rushed out of Lu Qingmei's house like the wind and said, "Teacher Lu, I have something to do, so I will leave first." Just as he finished speaking, he had already disappeared. Lu Qingmei's eyebrows slightly wrinkled as she stared at the door. She muttered to herself, "Escape, I want to see how long you can escape for." She mistakenly believed that Tang Zheng had his secret exposed and did not know how to face it, so he found an excuse to escape. Young people will always be young people. They are still too impatient and expose themselves after being tricked by my words. Tang Zheng did not run around like a headless fly. This was because when the formation was activated, he had a feeling that he had sensed the location of the victim. Chapter 61. Tang Zheng, where did you take my daughter? Shi Mingqin bombarded Tang Zheng's ears with a high decibel. Auntie, did Shishir not return home? Tang Zheng asked. You already know the answer. Let me ask you, what did you do to my daughter? Hurry and let her return home. If you dare to do anything bad to her, I will definitely not let you off. Shi Mingqin threatened. Auntie, don't worry. Shishir will definitely be fine. Tang Zheng hurriedly hung up the phone. The two did not know that while they were on the phone, Fang Shishir had called for help. However, because Tang Zheng was using the old man's phone, there was no notification, so he missed this crucial call. Tang Zheng madly ran, rushing towards the location he sensed. Tian Chanzi, is there any way for me to clearly pinpoint Shishir's location? Tang Zheng anxiously asked as he ran. There is. Tian Chanzi did not beat around the bush and directly taught Tang Zheng the tracking technique. Tang Zheng learned it quickly, and in the darkness, his perception of Fang Shishir became even clearer. The tracking technique could not track just anyone, but the most important thing was that the spirit control array was activated so he was able to quickly track. City center. Fortunately, Lu Qingmei's home was near the city center, so Tang Jing did not need to run for long to reach his destination. Hotel? Tang Jing looked at the luxurious hotel, and the ominous premonition in his heart grew stronger. Fang Shishir was in danger in a hotel, and this was enough to explain many problems. Shishir, you must wait for me. You must be fine. Tang Jing entered the hotel and a moment later he arrived outside a guest room. The tracking technique's location was here. The door was tightly shut, but how could it stop him? Peng, he directly kicked open the door. Who is it? Xiao Fei was lying on top of Fang Shishir's body, tearing off her clothes. Suddenly, a muffled sound came from the door. He shouted and turned his head to look, only to find that there was another person in the room. It was a person that he definitely did not want to see, a person that he did not expect. Tang Jing, why are you here? Xiao Fei panicked as if he had seen a ghost. Bastard, I'm going to kill you. When Tang Jing saw Fang Shishir lying on the bed with tears streaming down her face, he became enraged. He madly rushed over and punched Xiao Fei in the chest. Brr. Xiao Fei was like a shrimp, instantly lying on the ground. Shishir. Tang Jing picked up Fang Shishir. Bastard, get lost. Don't touch me, don't touch me. Fang Shishir screamed in panic. Her eyes were full of despair and pain. Tang Jing felt as if a knife was being twisted and said, Shishir, it's me, I'm Tang Jing. Fang Shishir was startled and said, Tang Jing, save me, I've come to save you. You're fine, you're safe. Tang Jing tightly held her in his arms, as if he was holding the most precious thing in the world. Fang Shishir's emotions gradually calmed down. She finally saw Tang Jing clearly. She was pleasantly surprised and said, Tang Jing, it really is you. You've come to save me. It's me, I came late and made you suffer. I knew you would come to save me. You are my hero, my great hero. Xiao Fei is a bastard, he wants to. As she spoke, she began to cry again. With me here, no one will be able to harm you. Tang Jing patted her back, comforting her. At the same time, he felt a lingering fear. If he had come a step later, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Xiao Fei, this bastard, I will definitely not let him go. His gaze fell on Xiao Fei's body. He was already struggling to stand up, the muscles on his face twisted together in pain. Tang Jing, you dare hit me. F***ck, not only will I hit you, I will also kill you, you bastard. Tang Jing put down Fang Shishir and like a fierce tiger he flashed, punching and kicking Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei miserably screamed and not long after, his face was bruised and swollen. He fell to the ground, twitching, and did not have any strength to resist. Tang Jing, don't hit him. If you continue, he will die. Fang Shishir saw the situation and hurriedly advised. I just want to kill him. If you kill him, do you want to go to jail? If you go to jail, what will I do? Tang Jing stopped. Tang Jing, let's leave this place. I don't want to see him again. Fang Shishir painfully said. Okay, we will leave immediately. But Xiao Fei has done such an outrageous thing. He can avoid the death penalty, but he cannot escape punishment. Shishir, you go out for a while, I will come out immediately. I can't walk. He drugged me. Tang Jing slapped his head. He was too careless and did not notice this. He grabbed her hand and used his qi to check. Finding that the situation was not too serious, he immediately used his qi to disperse the drug. Fang Shishir suddenly found that she had regained her ability to move. She immediately opened her eyes wide and looked at Tang Jing in amazement. She did not know how he did it. He really is my hero. You go out first. Fang Shishir obediently walked to the door. Tang Jing grabbed Xiao Fei and lifted him up. Tang Jing, what are you doing? Killing people is illegal. Xiao Fei fearfully shouted. Killing you is dirtying my hands. Tang Jing quickly tore off his clothes. Oh, what are you doing? Don't tell me you have this kind of hobby. Xiao Fei's butt tightened as he panicked. Do you think everyone is as perverted as you? Xiao Fei, I have no enmity with you. You have targeted me time and time again. You even sent people to deal with my grandfather. Do you think I will just let you go? Xiao Fei's face was deathly white as he panicked and said, Tang Jing, please let me go. I will never treat you like that again. Before I was jealous of you. Your studies were better than mine and Fang Shishir also liked you. I was blinded by jealousy. A leopard cannot change its spots. I have already given you a chance, but you did not cherish it. Tang Jing had already promised not to care about Xiao Fei's actions, but he was seeking his own death. This cannot be blamed on him. Seeing Tang Zheng like a killing god, Qiao Fei was terrified as he begged for mercy. Tang Zheng, please don't kill me. I have money. I will give you money. Don't you need money? Who wants your stinky money? Just accept your fate. You have done many evil deeds. This is retribution. Seeing Tang Zheng about to make a move, although he did not know how Tang Zheng was going to deal with him, he knew that Tang Zheng would definitely make him wish he was dead. Seeing that begging for mercy was futile, he became angry and roared, Tang Zheng, who do you think you are? I am the young master of a rich family. You are a poor bastard who grew up in a garbage dump. I only hate that I did not directly kill you and only made your brain stupid. What? You are saying that my injury was caused by you? Tang Zheng had long suspected this. Today, hearing Qiao Fei confirm it with his own mouth made him even angrier. That attack had changed his fate, causing him to fall from the altar to the dust and suffer the supercilious looks of others. Yes, I did it. So what? You have occupied the school's #1 position for a long time, making everyone's eyes focus on you. I do not accept this. You do not deserve this glory. So I will pull you down from the altar and make you the object of disdain. Qiao Fei seemed to have thrown caution to the wind as he spoke his true thoughts. Tang Zheng's heart moved as he asked, then the tuition fee was also done by you, right? Haha, of course. I will force you away. I will make you and Fang Shishir far away so that you will never have a chance. Tang Zheng's eyes flashed with anger. He originally only wanted to teach Qiao Fei a lesson and make him afraid of him. It seems that his thoughts were too simple. Qiao Fei may be afraid of him, but he will definitely not let this matter go. Since he has persistently targeted him for so long, then in the future he will definitely become even worse. It is easy to dodge a spear in the open, but difficult to defend against a hidden arrow. He must nip this hidden danger in the bud. Moreover, what he did to Fang Shishir is unforgivable. Dragons have reverse scales, humans also have reverse scales. Tang Zheng's family and loved ones are his reverse scales. Anyone who touches it will die. He has already been completely controlled by hatred. Kill him and everything will be over. Tian Chanzi suggested. No, if I kill him the police will intervene. I will cause trouble. I want him to beg for death and become an idiot. Do you have any ideas? This is simple. You only need to use your qi to mess around in his brain. Then his brain will turn into paste and he will naturally become an idiot. Okay, that's it. Tang Zheng does not feel that he is cruel and merciless. Because Qiao Fei has tried to kill him several times, he is still being merciful. Qiao Fei, in the future you will never be able to do evil again. Tang Zheng reached out his hand and pressed on his temple. If you have the guts, then kill me. Otherwise I will never let you go. Qiao Fei shouted fiercely. I won't kill you because I want you to become an idiot. Just as his voice fell, Tang Zheng activated his martial arts. Idiot? Qiao Fei was very puzzled. Suddenly, his brain felt a sharp pain as if a knife was inserted into his brain. He directly fainted. Tang Zheng checked the room to make sure that there are no clues left behind. Finally, he found Fang Shishir's phone on Qiao Fei's body. Only then did he leave the room. What did you do to him? Fang Shishir saw him come out and quickly asked. Make him unable to do evil again? You killed him? Fang Shishir's eyes widened in horror. How could I? I only knocked him unconscious. Let's go. Fang Shishir let out a sigh of relief. Even though she hates Qiao Fei, she does not want Tang Zheng's hands to be stained with blood. How did you find me? After leaving the hotel, Fang Shishir could not help but curiously ask. After calming down, she realized that Tang Zheng's sudden appearance was very mysterious. Do you still remember the Jade Buddha that I gave you? I remember. I always have it with me. The Jade Buddha is a treasure. Whenever you encounter an attack, I can sense it. Treasure? Fang Shishir's eyes widened. It was as if she was listening to a myth. This was beyond her understanding. Could it be that when Qiao Fei wanted to hit me, he was sent flying because of the Jade Buddha? Even though Tang Zheng did not see that scene, he guessed that this should be the case. He nodded and said, yes, that's why I can sense it. However, the Jade Buddha can only be used once a day. This was because Tang Zheng's martial arts were still weak. Therefore, the Imperial Spirit Formation's effect was reduced. It could only be used once a day. Moreover, the Imperial Spirit Formation's effect was that the stronger the enemy's attack, the stronger the counterattack. Qiao Fei only slapped her and the attack was not strong. He was only sent flying. If his attack was more intense, then he would have been directly injured or even killed. Fang Shishir's heart felt sweet. He actually gave her such a precious treasure. It was enough to see how important she was in his heart. In the future, remember to always carry it with you. Tang Jing warned. I'll send you home. Chapter 62. Your mom just called me asking where you were and told me to quickly send you home, Tang Jing said. Fang Shishir firmly shook her head and said, I really don't want to go home, I want to be with you. Saying this, she held onto Tang Jing's arm. Tang Jing was helpless as she had suffered so much today, so he really should stay by her side. Then let's go for a walk. Tang Jing, Xiao Fei said that you stayed at Yi Dingdong's house last night? Ah. Tang Jing was slightly stunned but did not deny it. Yes, last night something happened in the Ye family and they asked me to help, so I stayed at the Ye family. What happened? It's already been resolved. Tang Jing would not be so stupid as to say that he and Yi Dingdang had a fake engagement, as that would simply be asking for trouble. Seeing that he did not want to say more, Fang Shishir did not force him. The two strolled along the street as the night was hazy and the lights on both sides of the road pulled their shadows long. Fang Shishir raised her head to look at Tang Jing and said, I've noticed that you've changed a lot recently and you seem different from before. What's different? Tang Jing pretended to be calm as he said in his heart that a woman's directness was really sensitive. I don't know, come up. Anyways, I feel that your temperament has changed and your attitude towards doing things is also different from before. Tang Jing could not help but sigh with emotion. Imperceptibly, even he himself did not realize that there was such a big change. In the past, he only knew how to study and was the standard obedient student. Now, his actions were even more casual, revealing a free and easy feeling. However, no matter what you become, I will still like it. Fang Shishir tightly held his hand and sincerely said, Shishir, I will protect you so that you will never be bullied again. Tang Jing's emotions fluctuated as he firmly said, and I believe in you. Tomorrow I will request to change classes. I want to be in the same class as you. I don't want to be in class 1 anymore. I don't want to see Xiao Fei again. Suddenly, her expression darkened as she said, Xiao Fei probably won't return to school. Tang Jing said, What? Because I beat him into a pig's head. Tang Jing didn't want to say that he had already turned him into an idiot. Then he will still go back after he recovers. Besides, I don't want to stay here any longer. I want to be in the same class as you. I want to be by your side. There was a deeper reason for Fang Shishir's decision. Although there was nothing going on between Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang, the two of them were desk mates after all. They spent a lot of time together, so there was no telling what might happen. It would be too late to take precautions then. This was her little thought, but the starting point was her love for Tang Jing, so it was understandable. But will the old witch agree? It doesn't matter if she doesn't agree. My dad is a member of the school's board of directors. I still have the privilege of changing classes. Tang Jing didn't try to persuade her again. Unknowingly, the two of them walked from the city center to the south of the city. The night grew darker and colder. Fang Shishir couldn't help but shiver. You're cold. I'll send you home. I already said that I won't go back. Fang Shishir repeated. But your family will be worried. Just as his voice fell, Tang Jing's phone rang again. Your mom is calling. Tang Jing picked it up and looked. Fang Shishir pursed her lips. Tang Jing, if you don't send my daughter back, then I will call the police. Shi Mingqin sternly threatened. Tang Jing made a helpless expression towards Fang Shishir and said, Auntie, I will immediately send Shishir home. Don't worry. Hang, at least you know your place. Hurry up. Shishir, if I don't send you back, then your mom will call the police. After hanging up the phone, Tang Jing said. Fang Shishir unhappily said, She wants to take care of everything. Since I was young, everything was arranged by her. I'm just like a puppet. Tonight she had encountered too many things. Her emotions fluctuated greatly. She cares about you. In the future we will have plenty of time to be together. Moreover, you don't want her opinion of me to grow bigger and bigger. Tang Jing advised. Okay. Fang Shishir agreed. The two of them took a taxi to a luxurious villa. Go back and rest early tonight. Tomorrow we will be together. Fang Shishir said expectantly. And you should also have a good sleep. Don't think about tonight's matter anymore. Tang Jing warned. Then I will go in. Fang Shishir hugged Tang Jing, kissed him on the lips, and then reluctantly walked in. This scene was coincidentally seen by Shi Mingqin, who walked out. Immediately, her eyes widened and she said in a low voice, Shishir, what were you doing just now? Nothing. Fang Shishir lightly said. Good, I saw it with my own eyes. You actually dare to lie. The more you follow him, the worse you become. No, I definitely cannot let him leave like this. Shi Mingqin was flustered and exasperated. You are not allowed to go. If you dare to find trouble with him, I will never speak to you again. What? You actually dare to threaten me? I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Stop. Just what did you guys do tonight? Shi Mingqin relentlessly asked. I don't want to tell you. Fang Shishir thought of that humiliating scene and her mood immediately fell. She only wanted to take a bath and sleep, completely forgetting everything. But her cold reaction was simply disgraceful and abnormal in Shi Mingqin's eyes. How could her previously obedient daughter become so disobedient? This was definitely instigated by Tang Zheng. This little brat has unfathomable motives. He actually instigated my daughter to go against me. Preposterous, simply preposterous. The more Shi Mingqin thought, the angrier she became. If he wants to rely on the Ye family's support to do bad things to my daughter, then he is wrong. I will definitely not let him succeed. In a few days I will bring Tang Zheng home to eat. You should prepare. Before entering, Fang Shishir's words almost caused Shi Mingqin's jaw to drop. He wants to enter the Fang family so quickly? He must be daydreaming. Whatever, I was worried that I would not have a chance to teach you a lesson. When the time comes, I will definitely embarrass you and let you know that our Fang family's threshold is very high. You simply cannot reach it. The next day, Tang Zheng discovered that Lu Qingmei's gaze towards him was somewhat strange. It was like an eagle looking at a little chick. Damn, last night she almost saw through my flaws. If I continue to tutor her, then one day I will be exposed. Even though he felt that Lu Qingmei was a very good teacher and that he could absorb a lot of purine energy by being with her, compared to exposing his secret, he would rather choose to maintain a certain distance from her. Tonight I must find an excuse to avoid her. Teacher Lu, come out for a moment. Suddenly, the principal called out from outside the door. Lu Qingmei stopped teaching and walked out. The entire class looked outside, not knowing what happened. A moment later, Lu Qingmei walked in, but there was an extra person behind her, Fang Shishir. Immediately, everyone's eyes widened as they looked at this beautiful school flower, not knowing what was going on. Lu Qingmei's expression was still cold, making it impossible for people to see her mood. She lightly said, Today our class has a new student, Fang Shishir. For the next 2 months, everyone will be studying together. My name is Fang Shishir. In the future, I will be looking forward to everyone's guidance. Fang Shishir sweetly smiled and gently said. Everyone was stunned for half a minute. What kind of song is this? Fang Shishir is the current #1 in the entire school. Why would she come to the Hell class? Some of the more quick-witted people already thought of a reason, Tang Zheng. So they all turned their heads to look at Tang Zheng in the last row. They discovered that his expression was normal as if nothing had happened. *CK This must be because of Tang Zheng. His luck with women is too good. He actually made Fang Shishir change classes for him. Many people were envious, jealous, and hateful. Why didn't such a good thing fall on their heads? Takashi clenched his fist and thought, yesterday wasn't Xiao Fei going to make a move against Fang Shishir? Why is Fang Shishir acting like nothing happened? Could it be that Xiao Fei cancelled his plan? Now that Xiao Fei sees the cooked duck fly away, I wonder what kind of expression he will have. Suddenly, his heart lit up as a glimmer of hope appeared in his heart. Fang Shishir is here. That means Tang Zheng won't have a chance to hook up with Yi Dingdang. That means my chance has come. Thinking of this, he wanted to jump up in excitement. This time Xiao Fei is out of luck. My good luck has come. Who cares? My own happiness is more important. What does Xiao Fei's happiness have to do with me? He and Xiao Fei were jackals of the same tribe. They only got together because they were birds of a feather. There was no friendship to speak of. Naturally, he wouldn't feel sad for him. Fang Shishir really should have come to class 7 earlier. That Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang probably didn't have a chance. But now it's not too late. Takashi's luck has changed. My spring has finally come. Where do you want to sit? Lu Qingmei asked. Of course she would welcome such a top student. She and everyone else thought that Fang Shishir came for Tang Zheng. She couldn't help but take a few more glances at Tang Zheng. How could this brat's charm be so great? Yi Dingdang and his relationship seemed to be very close. Moreover, Fang Shishir, his official girlfriend, even changed classes. Tang Zheng was simply like a love saint. Teacher Lu, can I sit there? Fang Shishir pointed at the seat in front of Tang Zheng. There was already someone sitting there. Actually, Fang Shishir wanted to sit together with Tang Zheng. However, she knew that Yi Dingdang would definitely not agree. Why would she make such an impossible request? Then you'll have to ask your classmate's opinion. Lu Qingmei pointed at the male student sitting there and said, I don't have any objections. You can sit here with me. The male student excitedly said. It was as if being chosen by Fang Shishir was his greatest honor. Fang Shishir smiled and expressed her thanks. Then she naturally sat in front of Tang Zheng, leaving her beautiful back and jet black hair to Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He used to think that Fang Shishir was very obedient and timid. Only now did he realize that her courage wasn't small at all. She openly sat in front of him. At this point, even a blind person could see that she came for Tang Zheng. Feng Yong quietly gave a thumbs up to Tang Zheng. Yi Dingdang also looked at him thoughtfully and meaningfully. Such a big piece of news happened in the Hell class. It made all the students' hearts surge. But at the same time, the elite class 1 was also experiencing a big event. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.